Welcome to another edition of Mass Mats and Ma'am. I'm your host, the Outlaw LA Red. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on social media at MMMshow75. And today's a pretty special day. I think a lot of you are already waiting for our special guest. Of course, we have Meefloaf over there from England. Where are you at in England, Meef? Pretty special day. I think a lot of you are already
Cornwall
for our what Meefloaf? Are you blowing it?
Hello.
Hi, where are you, Meefloaf? What country are you in? Where
Cornwall,
are you?
England, which
Cornwall.
is like the foot, right at the very bottom, miles from anywhere.
Cornhole, England. That's a great sounding place. Byron, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I am out in the Brooklyn, New York at Byron Fever on all social media and Money social media apps. I'm super excited for tonight.
You are, and I am as well, because our special guest this evening is Hijo del Fantasma himself, who has just parted ways with AAA and is here to talk to us about all the fantastic things that are coming up. What is going on, Fantasma? How you doing, man?
How are you, my friend? Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very happy, excited, also nervous, and just waiting to see what happens to my career.
Well, I'm going to start right here, right now. I mean, we have a few things we'd love to talk to you about, but breaking news, if you have been on Twitter this evening, moments ago, AAA posted a very, very nice message to you. And wishing you success on your future journeys now that you guys have amicably parted ways. And I, for one, was very happy, but also very surprised to see that. How are you feeling about that special message and shout out you just got from AAA?
Well, I got to tell you, it's this week has been a sad week. Also, a week that has shown me that I can still manage to negotiate things the proper way. And AAA has been very, very good to me, to my career. And, you know, just this past few weeks that I decided to part ways, I brought the idea to office, and they were just very, very nice, understanding about it. And, you know, much respect for them.
I love to see it too. It's like I feel like the past few years the business has changed drastically when it comes to things like this, and it's really nice to see that guys can further their careers without burning bridges anymore. It didn't used to be that way.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of the things that I was concerned about, because I have been more or less one of the faces of AAA for the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. I've been there for every big show, Triple Manias, and sponsorships and whatnot. So it was one of my concerns that even though other superstars have left in not in a good fashion or not in the best possible fashion, I didn't want it to go that way. As a matter of fact, I might return one day. I might want to return one day. So I didn't want to burn that bridge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So this has been kind of in the last year or so, a lot of big stuff for you. First of all, you're sitting here without the mask on, the mask that we grew to know and love, the mask that Meefloaf there has purchased. I don't know how many times.
Numerous occasions. Yeah.
How many masks do you have? Come on, let's be honest. Just Phantasma masks. I don't want to get into the total number. We don't have that kind of time, brother.
It's near 20. It's near 20, but I've got the one of his father and the one that he wore. Him and his father wore. So they're very special.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, so I have to ask.
And the one from the Red Rares maps.
I have to ask you this, Meefloaf, since you're right here, and you are definitely a fan of Phantasma. Why is it that you like him as a luchador? What makes him so special? I mean, I think you're probably the most qualified person to tell the world that.
Okay, so originally, like I like Cuerno because I got into LU. LU was the launching pad for me, really, getting back into wrestling. And then Marco started talking to me about masks anyway. But then I started watching, and it was a suicide dive. I mean, the suicide dive got me hooked straight away. Because, it's like, yeah, I'll just do 20 foot out of the ring. You know, so I don't think it's a mixture of the technical ability.
What was that? You're breaking up a little bit.
You
said technical ability
and just technical ability, and also the playing. You can play the Rudo Technico perfect. And I've always been on about this is if you're going to build a company around a guy, you build it around. I'm not sucking up to him because he's here. He knows.
Sure.
If you build a company around a guy, he can talk English. And he come across that bridge in American audiences. That's something that certain TV shows have been looking for years. And it's the whole package basically. He's a great person. Again, I'm not sucking up to him, but he's a great person. He takes his time out with his fans. I mean, you only have to see the pictures with him, and well, it is with quite a lot of girls. But
my brother.
He's very good with all his fans. And you can tell a genuine person, and that always comes across well. And that's always the guy you want to get, put your support behind because he deserves the best. And hopefully, we're strapping him into a rocket now, and we're gonna get him to the top where he belongs.
Well, I think so, and Meef, I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people found Phantasma, especially stateside, through Lucha Underground. Which had to be a little strange for you. I mean, initially, like you had a mask gimmick already. Was it strange to come into a completely different hood, to come to a different mask, to come to Lucha Underground?
Well, right before I came to AAA, I remember that was part of the deal, that I was going to go to this project in the United States where I would portray a different character, maybe Phantasma, but from the very beginning, they told me I might have to do a different persona. So I was kind of ready for it because, this is not my first character. Before this, I used one named Top Secret, which was it was going to be my father's name, but he wasn't able to use it. So he left it there. And when I started doing my underground Mexican shows, I borrowed it, and that's how I became luchador by the first, a lot of years ago. And then I became Hijo del Fantasma. And then when they told me, this is what we want you to do. And I remember it was, of course, Eric Bachwanen and Chris Joseph, and they were all, explaining the psychological profile of this character, of this hunter. And I don't know. I mean, from the very beginning, I understood what they wanted. And it was both amusing, entertaining for you as it was for me, because I was just, finding myself episode after episode, and I loved it. It was difficult at the beginning, but then I would put on the Cuerno mask and I would become Cuerno, and that was it. And I was hunting all over the place. And then I would come back to Mexico and put on my Phantasma gear and Phantasma mask, and I would be the Ulala chocolate champ all of a sudden. So it was tricky at the beginning, but then it became so amusing, and I loved it, every second of it.
That's
one of the things that I was going to say we all enjoyed. A lot of people commented on.
Sorry, I cut you off. Me, say it again.
Was the difference in?
What is your?
So one of the things that I know everybody kind of like looked at and kind of explained as being a trait of being good at the role was the fact that you could see the different body movement when it was Cuerno. So like he was definitely more stalking and that kind of, when he used to do the slide. So they're two different physicalities, and to be able to kind of do that in when you're wrestling like all the time, constantly, and to be able to, separate. And I know the tapings were for a week or two, a month, but it was good to see someone able to show different sides of a character or being able to do two different things.
Yeah, that is true. I actually, AAA is the #1 promotion here in Mexico, and it's well known around the globe. But many people doesn't know what AAA is or who the superstars are. So when I first came to Impact, many people didn't know I was the same guy that doing the Cuerno stuff, and it was amazing to them that it didn't look the same. Only if you saw the tattoos or certain maneuvers, but they wouldn't associate one with another, and that was shocking for me because I was like, I'm the same guy, and I had fans that liked Cuerno but didn't like Fantasma, and a few fans did like Fantasma but didn't like Cuerno, and it was funny to me because to me it's the same.
I was one of the other ones. I was a Fantasma fan that didn't like Cuerno at first, and then Casey, our other host that's not here today, was like, that's Fantasma from AAA, right? And I was like, oh shit, really? I honestly, like, the first two tapings I think I went to in season 1, I saw you perform, and I was like, oh, that's a sweet gimmick. Like, is he a CMLL guy that I don't know? Like, where's this gimmick from? I didn't even realize that gimmick was a Lucha Underground exclusive gimmick because, it was like, I was there because Drago was there. I came to see Drago that day, and I was stoked. It was the day that he returned in season 1 was my first taping that I went to. And I just assumed that, like, oh, everybody who's doing a luchador gimmick must be somebody that they brought up from AAA or somewhere else. And that was their real gimmicks. I didn't realize at that point in time that they had created gimmicks specifically for Lucha Underground yet. So then I saw you, and I was just like, oh, who is this guy? Blah, blah, blah. And I had seen you as Fantasma a ton of times on AAA TV and different events. So it was pretty funny. And then I didn't really realize it. And I never did realize it. Casey actually told me. He was like, dude, you didn't notice the tattoos and blah, blah, blah. Casey notices all those kind of things. Like, he could tell you in a heartbeat who's under any mask out there if they've done any other gimmick.
Well, he told us who he was, and then he told us like the whole history and just the whole biography, everything. Casey knows everything about Lucha Libre. And,
I mean, it's not like you don't have a very storied history in Lucha Libre. I mean, you did CMLL for a while. You were trios champ there. And that was almost a decade ago now, right?
Yeah, middleweight also.
Yeah, and then in AAA, let's see, you unified the cruiserweight title, right?
Yeah, it was the fusion and cruiserweight title. They did only one, which was the cruiserweight title, and then I had that for quite a while actually, and then it was the Latin American Championship, and also the Antonio Peña Cup.
Right, which gave you the Latin American Championship, right? Wasn't that when you got it?
Yeah.
And damn you, Mundo, for taking it. Damn you.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I remember that Triple Mania. It was awesome. I mean, I've been to many Triple Manias, as you may know, because my dad was on the very first show of AAA. He was in the main event. So I've been to a number of Triple Manias. And then I remember this very vividly. In the middle of that match, 3-way match between Tejano, Mundo, and myself, the people started chanting at Arena Ciudad de Mexico in Spanish, "This is lucha." They were chanting, "Esto es lucha," and that has never happened before. And I don't know if it'll happen again, but to me, it was a highlight in my career.
What is this?
I've still got beef with Kevin Cross over that.
Oh, Big Kev, you got beef with Big Kev. Don't say that.
He can come on this podcast all he wants, but
he holds grudges me if you don't want to get on his back.
It's okay. He hates Byron more.
That is true. That is true. What is this that Paul Cross is asking about here? This
Paul Cross wants to know about an incident with Paul London in a bruised solar plex.
With me?
At Triple Mania?
Are you familiar?
Yeah. remember the dive Meef was talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing this Triple Mania match. Interesting match, by the way. Mixed match with American wrestlers and Mexican wrestlers and whatnot. And so I see the opportunity to do the Cuerno thing. I usually do the dive. I've been doing that, perfecting that dive for decades now. So I look around and I see Paul, just just there with his pretty face, and I just I had to do it. So I ran my ass off, and I dove, and I went through him.
Oh
And
God.
I remember it was like, ooh, and all of a sudden he was like, I'm okay, and that was it. I just went on with the match, and then a few months from that moment, we saw each other at Lucha Underground tapings, and he was like, "Bro, that dive is a suicide dive for whoever gets it." I was like, "Why?" He had to go to the hospital for that dive, and I didn't realize that until months after the match.
Did Paul ever give you a receipt for that one?
No, actually, no. He never got the chance.
Well, my friend, if you're coming up here and working some indies, you never know when that check might be in the mail.
Well, he's running or booking Maverick, right?
Yeah, he's doing Maverick Wrestling, which is one of the spots you should definitely look into. Like,
Well, I guess he's booking me now.
yeah, he's probably like, oh, let's get him in here.
Booking a losing streak there, I think.
Are there places that you're specifically excited to try to work? Are there any promotions you're looking at that you can talk about right now, or are you just looking to play the field and see what's out there?
Well, throughout my AAA run, I wasn't able to do certain promotions. But now I would like to try all of the California promotions, of course, all of the LA area promotions, New York, Jersey, Chicago, Florida, Texas. I want to try it all. I want to go travel the world and see what's going on.
Well, here in SoCal is hot right now. I mean, pretty much any weekend you got bar wrestling, you got PCW, you got LA Lucha now, which is probably a great spot for you. You got Maverick that's coming back, that's doing here in Vegas, I think. And who am I? And PWG, of course. I mean, right now SoCal is a hotbed, and bumps and bruises too. Like there's a few of them up here. That would be great. And then you've got FSW that's been doing stuff around here in conjunction with LA Lucha, and they're a Vegas promotion. They're a great spot. There's a lot of good promotions in San Diego. And I know your fan base out here is strong.
Yeah, it is.
Hopefully, hopefully we can get you up here.
Yeah, if you that was a question in an exam, I would mark all of the above because I want to go to all of them. Yeah, I just want to make a tour.
Well, okay, so who's out there on the indies right now that you'd like to feud with? Who would you call out if you could have two people that you could call out right now that you could beat up on the indies right now, that you could stab in the heart like you did London?
I don't know. Any suggestions?
Well, Cody had his when he became a free agent. He down the list.
Roosh.
Oh yeah, he just went to Ring of Honor.
I know. So unless I go to Ring of Honor, I don't think I'm gonna face him in the States. But I might face him here in
MLW.
Mexico.
Yeah. MLW.
MLW. Yeah, I'd love to go to MLW with Court Bauer. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Low Key, I love Low Key. I love working with him.
Oh, that would be fire.
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times, and I enjoyed a lot working with him. He's a great worker. Yeah.
Did you fight him in AAW? Was it AAW?
Yeah, I wrestled with him in AAW and also in Impact, and someplace else I can't remember. But Impact we did. I remember this 3-way for the X Division title. It was Matt Sydal, or Evan Bourne, Loki, and myself, and it was a hell of a match. I loved it. I enjoyed many of my matches in Impact. Actually, I did Bobby Lashley, I did Alberto El Patron, I did Eddie Edwards for the Noah title. It was an amazing match. Of course, Loki, LAX,
Ishimori.
ODB. I loved it. Yeah.
Can I ask what it's like working with Loki, where he seems like he's such a departure from traditional lucha libre. He like his matches, his style is just. It's just I don't know if I could define it. You know, like how do you blend what he does and what you do together?
I think he's an amazing performer. His style is somewhat of a mix between martial arts and probably pancreas kind of stuff. Very strong style, and I dig that. I dig that because a lot of my background comes from mixed martial arts, combat sports, all sorts of combat sports, from boxing to Oriental martial arts. So when I have the opportunity to face someone like that, that brings all of that to the table, and also, by the way, he's a well-known and respected superstar, at least to me. So the very first moment that I had to face him, the first thing you have here is respect, and he is one of the performers that always moves around the respect. That's the one thing that you can define him. If you could say one word about the Warrior, is respect. He likes that, he earns that, and he commands that, and that's my style too. So the first time we had the match at AAW in Chicago, it was an amazing match, and of course I did my dive. And we just had an amazing chemistry. And when we saw each other at Impact, we had already started off. So it was we gave great matches over there.
I want to ask you about somebody else. I want to ask you about Tejano. You guys have gone back and forth from being on the same side to feuding with each other, been up and down the road together. What's it like working with Tejano? Because every time I see you guys go, whether it's together against other people or against each other, you guys are stiff as fuck. So I'm just curious what it's like being on the other side of that. How do you feel about that particular feud and rivalry?
Well, of course, we've known each other forever, like since we were very, very little kids. And so our dads would put us to fight between each other. It could be submissions, it could be freestyle, or just plain fight. So we grew like that, and now he's one of the people that brought me to AAA. So at the beginning we were partners, and we would be stiff to everyone else. But then, as destiny usually has it, we became enemies, and then I felt what truly, what the concept of stiffness means. And it's cool. It's cool because we had some amazing matches, and of course the mask versus hair match is one of them. The 3-way for Triple Mania is another one. But along the way, we threw a lot of bad blood punches to each other, and we enjoyed it, by the way.
Now that the hair versus mask match, how do you
really
feel
cry
about
popcorn
that?
though?
What's that, Meef? I cut you off, Meef. Go ahead.
I said, does he really cry popcorn?
It's terrible.
So he will never live that down.
How do you feel about the hair versus mask match now?
I love the match, but the thing is, you know how television runs with time, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially when they stream the matches. and that was a very, very long pay-per-view. We were told that we wouldn't be able to have a full house because apparently to some people that match was not interesting enough. And it was the first time we were at that venue, and it was a 10,000 people limit venue, and it ended up having 13,500 people in attendance. So I guess we were attractive after all. But the thing is, everyone was trying to steal the show. Everyone, because it was such a hot crowd. It was you would go out and see that place packed, and you just wanted to do everything you could to win the crowd. And so, the time went out the window. And by the time we had to go and perform, we only had about 12 minutes or so. But it was an amazing match, and I loved it. And it was longer than the one they had this weekend, which was probably like 6 minutes or so.
Yeah. Okay, so the other big Apuestas match we have to talk about is Poker Aces.
Yes.
And the big moment. It's been a little while now, but how do you feel about that moment? Was that your choice, or was it pushed on you? Like, how did you get to the moment where you were finally going to take off the mask?
Well, it's a process. And I guess it had to happen down the line sometime point. So I think I was just trying to become a bigger and bigger and bigger star before that match could happen. And I think I did a good job. They did a good job, an amazing job building the character, the persona. And there's also one thing. When the match came, when they announced that it was going to be a 4-way match with Penta, LA Park, Psycho, and myself, I think the main concern that I had, at least I would have, was for people to believe whatever we did. Whatever happened in that match, I just wanted people to believe the story that we would tell. So that was my main concern, and the source of the stress I had the days before the show. But then when the show came, and I found myself in the last 12 minutes of the night, which was a one-on-one with LA Park, I just enjoyed that match so much that in the end I was probably as happy as LA Park, because I was satisfied and people dig the match. People was into the match. They were invested in what we were doing, and of course it was a stiff match. It was the stiffest match I've ever had.
Well, you had LA Park in there. What were you expect? I mean,
no, not just LA Park. It was LA Park.
Although the greatest thing, I apologize. The best thing was the Chocolatito.
Oh,
you got cut off, Meef.
The Chocolatito throat slash.
Was that on his own? Did he learn that?
The throat slash was the best.
Yeah, pretty much. If you see the GIF, I'm not looking at him. My face is down, and he was trying to comfort me, and he was pushing my head up like that. Lift your face, And that's when he probably felt frustrated because he saw I was crying, and he turned around. He was like, and that's when I put my face up. I was like, whoa, calm down. And he was so hot. He was so angry. I think he, little sound bitch stole the show.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, we killed each other for 45 minutes, and then this little guy comes and steals the show for all of us.
We had the same concerns before that match that you did. I mean, we debated it on this very show many, many times.
I didn't debate it.
Well,
so.
I mean, we questioned the believability of the setup a little bit at first, and then I will agree that by the time the show came around, it didn't matter anymore, and we were just all fully invested in it, and it was a really great moment, and we all enjoyed it, and we talked about it on the show back then too, and it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, shit, I am so happy that they pulled that off the way they pulled it off. It couldn't have been more exciting. It got people popping. It got people talking about it. And so it worked. And that's really what you're looking for at the end of the day is fans to be entertained and for it to work, to have believability, to have real emotion, which a lot of times you don't get to do in a match, where everyone's coming out of it at the end, really feeling something for you guys as performers and you guys in there feeling, emotional and that you really did something. So kudos to you and everybody at AAA for that match and the way it was performed. And now coming out of it, how does it feel to perform without a mask, something that you've done your whole life?
Yeah, well, just to close the Triple Mania thing, there's one thing that a lot of the teachers that teach lucha told me and told people like L.A. Park, which is an old school kind of guy, and that is that it doesn't matter how many things you can do, maneuvers, high flying maneuvers, or how good your mat technique is, or whatever. In this business, what you sell is emotions, and if you manage to get people invested in what you're doing, then that's it. You did it. All you got to do is go through the match, but you gotta create emotions. That's what we did, and that's probably what I study the most about stuff, because I'm growing. I'm 34 years old. I'm not the 22-year-old guy that I was before, but I still move and I do all the stuff I do it perfectly. But the one thing I keep perfecting is my ability to create emotions in people. If I'm the bad guy, then you're gonna hate me. But if I'm the good guy, you're gonna love me and you're gonna cry with me. That's what I do. That's what we're all supposed to do. Instead of, trying to steal the show or trying to outdo what he's doing or whatever, just if you sell your emotions, that's it.
That is absolutely the key. I agree.
I was an emotional wreck for a month.
Yeah, Meef was broken. He was broken.
I was like, what am I going to buy now? There's no more masks to buy.
You're trying to get him home.
I have a few for you.
See, he's saving them. He's saving them. If things get tight, what the phone call on the other end is going to be fantastic. Like, hey, bro, I had to miss a couple shows last week with a sprained ankle. You want to buy a mask? So what is it like performing now without the mask? I mean, does it feel different out there to you? Is it a big shift? Is it a big change?
It was like the first 4 or 5 shows. It was a big deal because I felt naked. In lack of a better word, I felt naked. But then I'm a natural born wrestler. I was born for this shit. So I started enjoying it little by little, and now I feel like a fish in water. I feel good. I feel good about it. And like I said before, like if you have your face, all your facial expressions out there, you can do so many things. You can play with the people. Like some shows I just go in there and make them my friends, and then by the end of the match, they hate my guts. And that's probably what I enjoy the most of this business.
So what's more fun though, Rudo or Technico?
Oh, Rudo. Rudo, yeah, definitely.
Meefloaf.
Technico is more reward.
Was your second match?
My second match
was it like your second match with your father? Like it after you lost the mask? Expo Lucha.
It was the 5th.
Was that the 5th? Oh my god, you wrestled a lot that week.
Yeah, it was like my 4th or 5th match after losing the mask.
Yeah.
And I hadn't wrestled with my dad in probably 15 years or so. So it was
And that was just after the problems, wasn't it, as well? So I love your dad because to get in the ring again, he was amazing to do that at Expo Lucha.
You cut off.
El Jefe de Jefes. Oh, I was just saying, for your dad to wrestle in that match was quite a big thing.
Yes.
Because I remember at the time there's a few issues and what have you, and yeah, El Jefe de Jefes.
That's right.
Just
and also,
I thought that was quite an amazing supportive moment.
Yeah, I think he looked good. I mean, he's a legend. You know, he's a living legend of this sport, and I think he looked good. You know, he looked ripped and big, and I don't know. I mean, he's my hero. I think you've noticed by now, but to wrestle with him after 15 years, I think it was emotional, and it was also a highlight in my career.
Neef, I know you probably have a couple other questions. What else do you want to ask your favorite luchador?
Well, to be honest, my thing was you asked me a lot of them. To be honest with you, to go rack my brain now.
Because I'm a question stealing son of a bitch, Meef. You know that.
I know. Mine was just it was literally coming out of like the mask match. How you felt that would be for your career, and how you felt it's gone since.
Well, the thing is, after a mask versus mask match, at least in Mexico, and this is important to tell, you know, to teach to the American audience or the international audience, is how big that match is. Because after that match, you can either die as a performer. I mean, your career it's done, or you can become bigger, even bigger, a bigger star than you were before. I was, of course, afraid that losing my mask would bring my career to an end. Thankfully, and you know, me being how I am, and the way I carry myself, you know, being a rudo, and the way I work people, it was just a matter of time to realize that. And after 4 or 5 shows, I was just so comfortable, and the crowd, you know, the audience was comfortable with me too. So it played good for both of us. And right now I feel good. We created this this table, the Mercenarios, with my brothers, and I think it worked perfectly, beautifully for us. And now that I'm gone, I think they're gonna carry on doing what we were doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you ever think that you'll wrestle with a mask again? Like, would you ever do Cuerno again, that character instead with a mask?
I guess I if you know, several things would need to happen.
Right, of course, obviously.
But I would, because I think I learned to love the character, because it's even though I didn't create it, the character, I did create it, the character. You know what I mean? It was me, all the moves, all the stuff. So I love the character. I love the Cuerno persona. So if the opportunity was there, of course I would do it.
Now, so quickly back with Lucha Underground, season 3, we didn't see a whole lot of you. What was going on then? I was furious, and I honestly did not know what was happening with you at the time, and Byron can attest to this. Yeah. I was furious because I felt like, damn, we invested all this time in this character in season 2. I wanted to see where it was going, and then I pitched at Krista Joseph about it once, about like, I felt like, wait, what the fuck's up with Cuerno? Why are you going to give me all this greatness, get me all psyched, and then I get nothing until the end of season 3? What's going on? So what was going on in that period of time?
I had back surgery.
Man. Well, see, I felt like I didn't notice you. I didn't notice you gone from Triple I. You know what? I think it has to do a lot with the TV schedules, because because of when Lucha Underground's airing, it was like I was still seeing you, I think, back in Mexico already at that point in time before all those episodes aired. So to me, it just felt like this tremendous gap, this void. where your character was gone. But how is your back feeling now? I mean, and how are you health-wise in general at 34 young years?
I'm stronger than ever.
Awesome.
Stronger than I ever was, and I'm probably stronger than I'll ever be.
I remember Casey and I were standing. Justin, you might have been there too. We were front row in the bleachers right by Dario's office at the original Temple, and I think it had to have been near the end of season 2, where you took a ladder bump, where you're on top of the ladder and just straight fell on your back.
That's the one.
That's the one?
Yeah, another highlight in my career.
Oh. That was like, it was almost sickening to like hear that in person.
Yeah, but you know what happened? I think, hands down, we got to recognize and acknowledge the fact that the guys that, probably restarted this whole Lucha revolution is the Fantastic Four that I like to call, which was Pentagon, Phoenix, Drago, and myself. The first first 4 Mexicans in Lucha Underground. Of course, Mesias is 2, but he's from Puerto Rico. Sexy Dulce. And we were just so into it and so invested in what we were doing. If you all guys humor me for a second and we go back a few years, do you remember the boss? What everyone was saying about the show, how everyone was trying to duplicate what we were doing. So we kind of felt that we was leading something, like we were the leaders of a movement, so to speak. And so we were just, one notch up every single episode, and then one more, and then one more, and then one more, until people started to, get hurt. So that's when we were like, okay, we're doing this the right way. So just calm down a little bit and carry on with what you were doing. And that's when we sort of paced ourselves a little bit. But I remember that it was such an exciting moment in my life and in my career. And I enjoyed every single second of that, because we were just the #1 show in wrestling / Lucha Libre all around the globe.
Well, I personally have to thank you guys, because, Lucha Underground and what you guys were doing that first season is what brought me back to wrestling. I was a huge wrestling fan all through the 90s, early 2000s. And I was a big ECW mark back in the day, and I hadn't had that type of feeling like a lot of fans had with ECW again until Lucha Underground. I mean, I did not watch WWE like the entire time that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were basically the big thing over there. I didn't watch anything, or I didn't watch any of that era of wrestling at all. And then Lucha Underground and what you guys were doing brought me back.
I think I was out from 2002.
Yeah, and it was a long period of time. And then I realized once I saw Lucha Underground, I went to a couple of live shows, and I had seen a lot of you guys' stuff from AAA. I'd been watching a little bit of AAA, and I'd seen Drago. A few of my friends were like, "You'd love this Drago guy," because I was a big Rey Mysterio fan back in the day. So they were like, "Oh, check out Drago. You'd like him." And then when I heard he was at Lucha Underground, I was like, I definitely want to check this out. And that's when, of course, I saw you and Penta come in and all these other guys. And Casey was a huge Penta mark. And, Meef is a huge Cuerno mark. And Byron is just a mark.
Yeah.
But it was,
hey.
I was talking with
Eric. I'm a huge Phoenix mark as well.
Phoenix mark, yeah. And I was talking to Eric Van Wagner about this too. And I really hope that, regardless of where Lucha Underground is at right now, regardless of where it goes from here, that people remember the mark that it left. You would not have the business being what it is right now if it weren't for the feeling I think that you guys had in that locker room. And it wasn't even something that the guys like us were seeing, but we would catch wind of it. And then every time we would talk to a performer, they would tell us that what we're doing is different. What we're feeling is different. What is happening here is, honest to God, different. And when you hear that story enough times and you see it on enough people's faces, and then eventually as we got in tighter with a lot of different people and saw it firsthand ourselves, it's really hard for people to understand just how important that locker room is to the entire business right now. I mean, these companies that have never even thought about working together before are now cooperating. Talent is cooperating, and it's like the whole universe outside of WWE has started to unite as wrestling as a whole, as an industry. And I really feel like that came from that season 1 and 2 Lucha Underground locker room.
Yeah, and if you let me say something about that, do you remember? I'm going to say two things. The first one, do you remember what happened in the 90s when Conan brought all these Mexican wrestlers to the States?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I remember.
That was so awesome.
ECW.
Yeah, that's our place.
And that was, to me, that I mean, at least I've been in this business for 34 years. So to me, it was a big revolution. And the Latino World Order and Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Hector Garza, LA Park, Villanos, all, Silver King, Dandy. And then something happened. And it was only Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. And then it happened again with Lucha Underground. And if you see and analyze that, every once in a while comes a person or an individual that can manage to do something like that. And I'm talking about Conan.
Yeah.
He did it back then.
Yeah.
And then he did it again in Lucha Underground. And then, I don't know, for some reason he left. And then he's doing it again in AAA. Remember the show?
Yeah, because we've all commented.
And yeah, we've definitely talked
matter.
about it on this show how Conan is one of the most influential factors in uniting wrestling right now.
He's the most powerful guy outside of the mainstream, if you will. Do you remember the show before Rey de Reyes? I think it was Tepic, when I came out with the Blue Demon mask.
Yes, I love that.
I opened the show and I closed the show. And everyone was saying that was the best show they had seen in years. And that's because of that guy, Conan. He can do that. He's so powerful here and here that he can do stuff like that. And so I think that season 1 and 2, big part of it, when it comes to the Mexican guys, because he was our go-to guy for everything. And he was always right here telling me what to do and what not to do and this and that. Phoenix, Penta, Drago, Aerostar, Tejano, whatever, And of course, in the American side was Chris DeJoseph, Eric Van Wagenen, and, all the guys that were. It was such an amazing place to be. The atmosphere, even the cameraman. I used to dive, and the cameraman would know where to go, they would jump. They would just jump all over the place. And I remember that so vividly. And the second thing I wanted to say is, do you remember ECW's One Night Stand?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What would happen if all things said and done aside, what would happen if we could do it just one more time? All of us. What would happen?
That's been my pitch, honestly. A lot of people have talked about this, that, and the other thing of like what to do. And what I would love to see happen, as a fan and as a friend of a lot of you guys in the back and as a friend of the producers, what I really think should happen with Lucha Underground at this point is I would love to see one weekend of tapings followed by 1 week of backstage filming, finish the whole thing off, get the whole band back together, try to get as much of the original cast back together, all the nonsense, all the outside of the ring stuff, all the whatever aside. Everybody get back together for 1 weekend, do a taping, make it a mini series, a very short mini series, 3 or 4 episodes total on El Rey, but give everybody a chance to come back, give their characters the send-off that they deserve if Lucha Underground's not going to keep going, and really bring back everything to that locker room. Give Chris DeJoseph a chance to finish those great ideas. Give everybody a chance to step into that character one last time and really give the character the send-off that they all deserve. I hate the fizzling out effect that I think started when that hiatus happened, the television break, unnatural television break that nobody involved with producing the show wanted. That was completely a network decision. But it put the brakes on a little bit. And I think that one of the ways to finish things off would be that way. And the reason I would really love to see something like that is this show deserves to have its legacy be intact.
Closure.
Yeah, and the legacy of this show is important. It's important to the wrestling business, and I don't want to see it fizzle out and people just be like, "Oh yeah, that show was fine, but whatever, it got shitty." Like if that's the last thing people say about the show, I will personally not be satisfied. And I know a lot of people that invested their time and their hearts. And if you look in our chat room right now, Phantasma, it is full of people saying that Lucha Underground is what brought them back to wrestling. I mean, I'm looking at 20 separate comments here about how Lucha Underground revived their faith in the whole wrestling business. And I hope that, you know, the big wigs up top at Univision and El Rey and Factory Made and, you know, Lucha Libre, F&B, that these guys that are actually controlling this decision and have to agree with each other to make it happen can find some way that one last time, get the band back together, get that locker room back together, have everybody be on the same page, happy to see each other, happy to work together, to trust each other with their bodies, to trust each other with these storylines and these characters one last time and really send it out with a bang.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that will ever happen, but if
it might be a pipe dream.
Yeah.
If that happens, I'm not taking the table bump again. Just so you know. But you know what's happy? I find it very satisfying to see maybe guys from Ring of Honor doing lucha stuff.
Yeah.
And watching NXT guys do lucha stuff, incorporating lucha stuff into their stuff, and main roster guys doing lucha stuff, because I know that they must have seen it somewhere, and probably they saw it with us.
Well, that's what you're talking about.
And if I ever go to any of these companies, I'm a Lucha original. I'm an OG of Lucha Libre. So that puts me in a different position. I love that because I learned the American style, but in the process, we learned to create this hybrid. And everywhere you go, you see that nowadays.
I would love to see you match up against Cien Almas in WWE. I think you both kind of.
Who?
Is he Almas now?
La Sombra.
La Sombra, yeah.
Andrade.
Yeah, they're taking half his name away, but I forgot which one he got to keep. But he's amazing. But
it's formerly known as.
We known each other for years. Did you know that?
Oh wow!
You were a tag team, weren't you, in CMLL?
Yeah, I mean,
together?
my first or second match was with him, and then we wrestled a lot together back in the day, and he has evolved a lot from those days. He was an amazing high flyer, like an out of this world high flyer, and then he became into what you see nowadays. And he does many things that I like in a match, which is he can start doing chain wrestling and then spice it up a little bit and maybe do a dive and then maybe be a heel for a little bit and then come back to the high flying maneuvers, and that keeps the people on edge. I love that.
Did you ever see a point in time when you would yourself go to WWE? Would you ever consider that?
Yeah, I did. I only did one tryout, and it was I think in 2009 here in Mexico City, and everyone liked it. I remember all the people saying, "I La Sombra Andrade, he did it with me that day," and everyone was loved it and whatever. And I think they didn't do nothing back then with Lucha. So they didn't call us back. But then they resumed with the Lucha thing after the Lucha Underground stuff. And then I think they wanted many people to go. Many people from the show to go.
Yeah, I would be curious to see you there. And I could say right now, NXT could definitely use a couple of more superstars of your caliber. Absolutely. If they got a guy like you in there. But at the same time, I also want to see you go and clean up on these indies, man. There's some guys holding some belts around here that I think you might need to have a conversation with, and including Kevin Cross holding that Maverick belt. I think you might, Killer Cross. Is that what we're calling him these days?
I don't know.
I think he could use some hands. There's a few guys around town that could use some hands, I think. And I think you might be the guy to take care of them.
I love the guy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't kick his ass in the street.
I need you guys to know one thing, and this is important. We're live, and I want everyone to know this. Have you seen Kevin Cross's back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a very special tattoo over there?
The Cuerno, the horns.
Of a King Cuerno. He's a King Cuerno lover, my brother.
He is. He is a Cuerno mark, isn't he?
Oh wow.
He is. So I'm so grateful for Kevin, performing at such a high level now and always representing Cuerno. Much love, my brother.
I've got to Photoshop that now, don't you? Photoshop Cuerno onto Kevin Cross's back.
has to happen.
I always give him shit for that tattoo. I think he's gonna have it removed at some time, at some point.
Now, what is the translation of Cuerno? Is it horns or is it antlers or is it what is the? It's horns, right?
Actually, I think the original name was gonna be King Horn, and then someone thought it was and it's better, Cuerno.
Cuerno is much better than King Horn.
Pan Dolce. Just reminds me of food.
So what's next? Do you have any bookings? Do you have anything you want to plug? How can people book you? Let's talk about the future, man.
Yeah. Well, if there's any promotions out there that want to book me, you can do it through my social media, which is at Hijo del Fantasma, on Twitter and Instagram, or through you guys.
Yeah, hit us up.
You guys can be my managers for a while.
Oh wow! Look at Meefloaf. He might pass out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I told you.
Well, I know Meef is definitely trying to hook up those UK contacts, and we'll definitely try to talk to our SoCal and Vegas buddies for you, because I want to be able to see you myself, and I'm certainly not going to wait around for Lucha Underground to be pulling anybody back in anytime soon. So let's see if we can get you on some shows, man, and make some things happen, because I am excited. As much as I love seeing you in AAA. I know that at certain times people just need to have a different look in life. They need to go out there, test the waters, see what's out there, and have a little fun, man. I can't wait to see you get out there and just have some fun with all this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I decided to part ways with AAA, because sometimes you just need to give the audience certain variety, and it was becoming a somewhat the same story over and over with me.
Yeah,
I can't speak for everyone else, and so I just thought that maybe it was time for me to go out there and just make a tour in the Indies, here in Mexico, in the States, and
Japan,
probably Europe. And just travel a little bit, chill, enjoy. Of course, keep training, keep getting better, and I don't know, probably come back in the future. Who knows?
Awesome. You guys got anything else for our friend Fantasma before we let him go?
Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you soon.
My brother, thank you very much for being such a true friend with me, my special operative in the UK and European Union. I'm going to see you in May, so be ready, my brother.
Byron, you got anything you want to add?
I will. I'll take.
Great answer.
It's been great. No, it's just I want to hear more about other wrestlers who you want to match up against. But I hope we get to see that down the road very soon. What other shows? So you're going to be out in England soon. What other shows do you already have booked that we can see?
so far I only have this show in May, the
Mhm.
Lucha World, I think it is, and
Yeah.
I hope I can get booked with someone else over there. You know, some of the big promotions there. I wanna work there for a while, and then of course the states. You know, the various numerous promotions over there, PWG. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say earlier when you were talking about how with Conan and WCW, how he brought lucha into the mainstream then, and then it died down to just two. It seems that for the longest time, and still there's a bit of a struggle today with WWE presenting Lucha Libre. But when Lucha Underground came out, you started to see a resurgence, like you were talking about. Like I remember that I went to Bola PWG, and like they blew the roof off. Penta, Phoenix, Aerostar, and Drago, I think. And then after that, you start seeing them booked at all the other indies, and from there, that had built up to where like NXT, which is kind of like that's WWE's indie presentation. You know, they started doing it, and it seems like it's come up and infiltrated the entire wrestling scene, and it started with Lucha Underground. And it was so cool for me because I was one of those wrestling fans who watched NWO and stopped watching for the longest time. And I came back with Justin and Casey and everyone else at Lucha Underground. But it showed Lucha Libre in a way that American fans can digest it. You know, and I think that's another great aspect to your style, to where you have that Lucha Libre aspect, but you have that you portray the emotions of the match so well, and there's new, but there's also something American fans can latch onto. I don't know if that's a question, but
I don't think that was a question, but I love everything you're saying, Byron.
but you know, all of that, I'm very, very excited to see what you do, because there's in that original class, you have like Pentagon and Phoenix. They jumped out and they took the world by storm, and now they wrote their own rules. Like you have, you know, for all Cody said that he's doing with writing his own contracts, that's what Phoenix and Pentagon did before him, you know, and now we get the opportunity to see you take the world by storm, and that's very exciting, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is exciting to me too, and I feel exactly the same way you do. Only I think we still need to let the American fans know a little bit more about lucha, so that maybe one day we'll see a mask versus mask or mask versus hair match, and everyone's gonna be as invested as Mexican people is in a triple mania, and we might see that soon because we have ambassadors like myself, like Andrade, like Mysterio, that we can just help them little by little digest this, and probably it'll become an important part for every American show in the future.
I don't know if I'm ready for that though, Phantasma. Like, look, I was okay with you losing the mask, but you got a pretty head of hair, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that moment if that happens stateside, where the hair comes off. I don't. That's a tough pill to swallow.
That's also I will say as well. I think something that I just saw. My main man Kevin Cross said that Cuerno character was based off on his tattoo. I think he's trying to save some face for the fact that he was such a mark that he had my character tattooed in his back. But it's okay, Kev. It's okay. We love you.
I heard that's why he turned up at Lucha Underground. He turned up just as a fan, and they were like, "Oh, you look like a wrestler. You can get a gig here. Yeah, you'll be fine." Yeah.
Well, this has been...
I'm going to land on my head soon.
Yeah, you are. You guys are all in for...
My door's going to get kicked through.
Little double Saito headache. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Phantasma. This has been truly, truly epic. And especially coming right off the news. from parting with AAA. I'm very happy to see that everything was amicable and worked out nicely. I love the fact that you do business as a gentleman and that you keep it real and that you're doing things the right way, which is very, very difficult to do in the business sometimes, as we all know. But thank you so much for coming here to talk about it. And you are welcome back at any point in time. Let's see you out on some shows. The second you got something that you want to come and talk about, you are always welcome here, my friend. Always.
Thank you, my brothers from another mothers, for having me on the show. And I hope I see you soon in a show, or I don't know. I'm hoping to see you guys soon. And this is an exciting time for me in my life and my career. And I'm just happy to see what life has got for me from now on. But from now on, I'm going to be hashtag La Leyenda. That's it. The legend has born. And so we got to go on doing what we do.
All right. You heard it from the man himself. Thank you again so much for joining us tonight.
Take care, bro.
We will talk to you soon.
Take care, bro.
Amazing stuff from Hijo del Fantasma. So you guys heard him
breathe
talking.
now. I can breathe now.
You can breathe. Meef lived, guys. Meef
So
lived.
what's his new hashtag now?
La Leyenda.
La Leyenda? Oh, the legend? Right? Is that what that
Yeah.
means? Or legendary?
Legend is born.
So there's a couple other things I want to talk about. Just regular wrestling stuff. I do want to talk a little bit about Rey de Reyes. I thought that was a very entertaining show. I do want to talk a little bit about UFC because that was an incredible spectacle this past weekend and this week with a few things happening there. But first, I want to talk about AAA Rey de Reyes. Did you guys watch Rey de Reyes?
Absolutely.
No.
Meef? Really?
No Fantasma, no party. No Fantasma, no party.
I appreciate that about you. You are very, very loyal. But I will say that
I'm joking. I actually watched the replay.
Yeah, the moment of the show. I'm not going to talk about the entire show. I mean, you had some weirdness with Hamburguesa in the beginning, and then you had the Cody thing, which was very big deal early on.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to talk about that. But I'm going to jump right to the moment that stole the show for me, that I did not see coming somehow, even though it should have been obvious. Aerostar is the Highlander. There can be only one man with a sword that decapitates all other men, and it's freaking Aerostar. Finally. How did this happen? This is amazing to me. I'm so happy.
I almost I was, for the minutes leading up to it, my brain wasn't processing it. It was like,
not at all. I agree. I was not expecting that finish.
Obvious, he should have won years ago, but I didn't think AAA would have done that.
I mean, to me, it was just like,
it's definitely nice to see Aerostar starting to pick up these wins in big matches, because it's a couple of months now. He's started to really pick up, which is great because he's one of the most deserving guys there, who's been underappreciated for years.
Well, and to me, one of my biggest things about Aerostar is please, some promotion really give this guy the rub so that he stops jumping off of shit. If the promotions don't give him the rub, he's going to keep trying to get the rub himself, and he's going to do that by hurtling himself off of something that is really, really high in the air.
I need to tell you a little fact about myself.
All right.
So every time I enter a building, I have a couple of things I do. Figure out how good it is for a zombie apocalypse stronghold.
Okay.
Figure out alternative fire escapes should there be a fire and they've not provided adequate ones.
Are you going to start?
AKA breaking down a wall.
Right.
3, if there's a place that Aerostar can dive off of it.
Okay. And that's reasonable. I mean, honestly, I had many of those thoughts when I walked into the new temple.
I look around the arena and go,
I mean, I immediately thought that when I walked into the new temple. I was like, oh shit, okay, so Aerostar will probably jump off of that. It was just like one of my first thoughts.
That was the thing. Yeah, Casey would always, when he's introducing all the luchadors when we were brand new into coming to the temple, he'd be like, this person, like there's Aerostar. He always jumps or falls off of the highest point, and did not disappoint.
No, never has.
The triple mania with the rig.
Yeah, I loved Ultima Lucha, the one
The shot on that was
when
amazing.
he went on the lift.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
But so this match was also phenomenal. The Rey de Reyes match. A ton of great talented guys in there. I was very surprised by Sammy Guevara. Not that I should have been, but I thought he made a great showing.
Everyone did.
I wanted to see a little more from a couple guys. I think I would have liked to have seen a little more or a few more spots for. I shouldn't say a little more. It's nothing they did wrong, but just I would have liked to have seen more spots with Taurus maybe and Vikingo and a couple of those guys.
I thought they got their stuff in. I mean,
they got their stuff in, but it felt a little rushed to me. Some of it felt a little bit rushed, but it was still a great match. Again, I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying if you're going to take a great match like that and make it a little bit better. Jack Evans, however, phenomenal in that match. Holy shit. Just like every facial expression was as good as every move that he did. Everything about Jack was just great to me in that one.
If Jack was maybe like 100 pounds heavier and half a foot taller, I think he'd be a big star in a different company.
Well,
but he's just so incredibly talented. He's underappreciated everywhere he goes.
As a fan, I love it though, because I'll be honest, I forget about Jack sometimes. Sometimes it's totally like, oh, Jack who? What? But then he pops up in one of these matches. You're not really expecting him. And all of a sudden, everything is gold.
Yeah.
He also hates mumble rap, which makes him a number one superstar.
Yeah, he formed a stable with Sammy and what's his name, Eve?
Australian Suicide.
Yeah, and
has he got a new name?
I read on the Twitter, I think Rob Viper said that he locked Suicide in his hotel room because Suicide chose mumble rap for their entrance music.
He smashed a mobile phone as well.
That's amazing.
I don't know if that's true, but it was on Twitter, so it's true.
Yeah, it's on Twitter, it's true.
Oh, so obvious. Other than the obvious ending to the show, what other moments did you guys like? I mean,
well, it was incredible to see luchadors come out as DC characters.
You can get away with that in Mexico.
to Guns N' Roses, and not they'd come out the Thriller, but like to Guns N' Roses and Thriller, it's like they're coming out to the biggest copyrights in America, but.
I wonder if Twitch has any legal obligation in that regards, streaming a live event from another country.
They were kind of really bad versions of.
Yeah, they were like Kmart that you buy the day after Halloween costume.
Don't say that to Casey, who will watch a wing ripoff of anybody on any day. So,
that's different.
Yeah, that is different. But if he doesn't find that buzzsaw match, by the way, really soon, he's going to murder somebody with a buzzsaw and film it himself. We have to find that match for Casey.
It's not a buzzsaw. Wasn't there like multiple buzzsaws?
Oh no, it's like it's a buzzsaw match. It's several buzzsaws on a wooden board, and they looked like they were real, not gigged at all.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that makes me nervous. But I think more.
There's a reason you can't find it.
Maybe it's a snuff film. Go to the dark web, Casey. Go to the dark web.
But he'll have to hit up J-Man with J-Man's new internet. I think J-Man has dark web connections, but with the costumes, like what quickly overshadowed that was like these guys, at the end of the match, they all murdered each other or just murdered themselves. Like Averno, back of his head at the edge of a table, and he was stretchered off, like
the Puma King powerbomb.
Yeah, like one thing that I really appreciate about having Vampiro ringside doing announcing is that. His emotions get the better of him a lot, and when a wrestler gets hurt, he throws the headset off and runs up to their side immediately, and he was doing that the entire end of this match.
Well, I was on the Spanish, and I was going back and forth between the Spanish and English, and I actually did like Vampiro quite a bit on the English commentary this time. But yeah, it was Superfly, right? That they did the sunset powerbomb through the table, and he died, except he didn't.
Oh, Superfly.
Yeah, Superfly, I think, was the one that smacked his head on the table.
Yeah, and then he did that with
Chessman hurt his arm
with Puma King.
I mean, they all died.
And
it doesn't even matter who it was at this point. I mean, it was the end of the match, and it was like literally they had to bring out new stretchers to get everybody to the back. And apparently they were all fine.
Do you know the really bad thing about the match, though, was that Puma King came out in an orange mask, and it is beautiful. And it
Have
makes
you
me want
brought
to
it
spend
yet,
money.
me?
No, I think I've.
Twitter's blowing up. Sorry.
The whole tattoo thing somehow got leaked to the whole Cuerno.
Is Cross mad at me?
Tattoo.
You can tell me. It's okay.
It's not. No. He seems happy. It's a lot of like laughing gifs. So I think he's happy. But basically, somehow that story got leaked to Twitter, and so he started tweeting at Fantasma. And then
yeah, you posted it, Byron. I've seen
back
it.
at him.
This is amazing. We've started to see this is how the indies work, guys. You come on a little independent podcast, we talk a little stuff, and then the next thing you know, there's guys bloody in the street. Sorry about your damn luck. Yeah, that match was crazy. So that match was what? It was a Verno Chessman, Superfly,
Puma King. Is the OGT
versus yeah, I don't even know. Puma King, Pagano, right? Who all was in the match?
Pagano was there because I remember.
Pagano was the one that didn't die in the match. Or was it Drago that didn't die?
Who
didn't die?
We're merging matches here, I think. We're merging matches. Oh no, Drago took the pin, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took it.
Again, it was one of those matches. It's so crazy, and there's so much stuff that happened on the card. You don't even remember who was in it. I only remember who was dead at the end of it. It's amazing.
I remember them all on the ground. I was listening to the English feed, so Vampiro bailed to make sure everyone's still alive. And then, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Did he actually get up? I was listening to the Spanish feed at that point in time. So did
Vampiro, he left the table. And so then the guy who was talking with him, which I forgot his name, he could be like an Andrew or something, or Charles.
Did they play his music so he could leave the table? Or has he got a button? Has he got a button there now? So he presses it so I can leave the table now.
The other guy had like no idea like what to say after Vampiro left. It was that part was kind of funny, but at that point it was extremely concerning what happened to every single wrestler at the end of that match.
I did like Vampiro trying to interact with the live chat, like it was, in the past he interacted with the Twitter chats that were going at him. That's not quite as fast as the live chat, and I think that he gave up on the live chat pretty quick because it was flying at him.
No, he was going after the Twitch chat. He was calling them all jerk-offs, and he was just like repeat. He would like read it live, like he wouldn't read it in his head first. He'd read it out loud. Let it go, Vampiro, blah 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 blah. He's like, "Oh, fuck off, you jerk off."
On one of them, he was having a go at Lucha Blog, and then he read out something from me, and he was like, "That's from like what the fuck is a Meefloaf? Stay off drugs, kids." And I was like,
"That's so great." I mean, to me,
that's all right. I mean, he last what was it, Triple Mania, when he read off my tweet, and I was the outlaw L.A. Reid or something, and it was just like, oh god. Vamp, come on, bro. You know me. Why are you gonna mess up my Twitter handle like that?
The only person who has a Vampiro shirt from back in the day still.
Son of a bitch.
I can't wait till he comes on the podcast. He said he would.
Yeah, he's been asking to be booked forever. But yet when I try to book him,
I'll just contact him. It'd be fun.
At the next broadcast, let's ask him on the Twitch stream.
Yeah. I mean, the two hardest gets for me have been Vampiro, who is totally down to do it, but it's going to be really random, last minute, fast thing. I have a feeling it's just going to be like, oh yeah, here, let's do it, bro. Or I'm going to have to do it live when I see him. And then Skip Chasen, who is totally game to do it. I talk to him, on Facebook and stuff every now and then, but the guy's just so busy, and he works for El Rey, and he's still cutting trailers in Hollywood, and he's back and forth from Texas to LA to film sets, and I need to go through his people to set up a time and whatnot. And then that time has to work for us because I can't even get my own people to get our times together. As you see, there's only 3 of us here this week.
Yeah. I mean, midday your time's perfect.
Yeah. So again, and dealing with trying to get 6 people on a television show that all or a podcast that all have jobs is not the most easy thing. Okay, so let's talk about the AEW thing. I want to talk about that. Which of course, Cody shows up, gets in his little feud with Conan. Taurus spears him. So I don't know. They're setting up something there, it appears.
They're saying that he wanted to face Taurus at the AEW, AAA, AAA.
Yeah, which I mean, I think that could be a decent match depending on how Cody is doing these days. I think that's actually a good call.
Taurus might kill him.
I think Taurus will protect him quite a bit. Honestly, I think Taurus.
But, no, I'm just saying he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but I think he knows the right way to work with a guy like Cody. I actually think that of that whole roster, that's actually a pretty good matchup for Cody. And I think the style will make the work rate not feel as slow as it would if they had picked a different luchador for Cody.
Well, Cody's coming off of his bum knee too.
That's what I'm saying.
Already was, like he relies, I think, more on the overall storytelling and gimmick of the match, which has.
And I think Taurus can actually tell a pretty good story, and I think he moves a little bit slower too. So Cody will still look fast against him, even coming off the leg injury.
Yeah,
I think it's a good matchup personally. But this is big news. I mean, this partnering with AEW, I felt like was another and maybe even bigger sign of the demise of Lucha Underground. Because if you look back a few years, and even Phantasma was talking about a little bit, one of the big things behind Lucha Underground, and the reason why this happened was, Dorian and a few of his investors and a few of these other guys that had been kind of involved with AAA wanted to find a way into America and in front of American audiences, to the point where they were talking to guys like Cuerno years and years ago about it as part of their contracts. Like, hey, when we do this thing in America, we want you to be a part of it. And now I feel like, it's just one more party who's involved that doesn't necessarily need it anymore. Dorian Roldan doesn't need Lucha Underground anymore. I mean, his investors, I believe, have been satisfied, the ones that invested with him. I'm not sure they would love more money. Of course, they all would. But, I mean, you see them blowing out merchandise. And then you see AAA now having partnerships with Impact from time to time, and now AEW. It's not like they're having trouble anymore finding ways to get talent into American markets.
Yeah, that was the thing before Lucha Underground was Lucha Underground. People talk about, Conan had was talking about it. It was this big Lucha in America project. And that's the goal. That's what they wanted.
That's the goal. And guess what? Goal satisfied.
The one thing I was going to say before Byron went on a really long talk rather than a question was
hold on me
about Lucha in America.
Fuck off.
I don't think I've got a good mic now. You can't do this.
Yeah, Meef is actually overpowering you for a change. It's amazing.
I'll overpower him in real life as well, and he'll love it.
I bet he would.
Stop flirting with me, dude.
The thing is, I don't think it's going to go away like it did before. I think it's too ingrained now.
Yeah,
I know that there's still the representation in, say, the WWE isn't great, but it's getting better. But I just don't really think, if you look at the rest of the scene, I think the lucha flavor is on every show.
Well, but that's also
it's getting into the American style as well now. So like a lot of the American style isn't as hybrided into including, and we're not talking like the high flying head scissors and stuff like. We're talking like Kibadoras and all these other moves, and like the especially submission holds, submission holds. They're starting to become, and then the chain wrestling that's more lucha style.
Well, I think that's part of why it's so important.
I think it's going to be ingrained.
He's doing it. That's why it's important that Cuerno's doing this, or Phantasma. We need that. You're still going to need that regular influx of guys who are OGs like him, that have been down in Mexico, that really truly understand the style, that are second and third generation guys. You need one or two of them every year or two to keep coming into the system. Part of the reason why it died before is that the inroads and the vehicle by which those guys had to get into America, which was through Conan and some of these other guys and going to WCW and ECW, what happened is Ray and Eddie and all those guys stayed in America so long. They didn't have the path back to bring more guys with them. Vince certainly didn't want those guys brought in after WCW and WWE merged, so that road was cut off. That path was severed for a long time. And now, with the way the current state of the business is, basically guys like Cuerno, he's the next guy on that path. You know, Phoenix and Penta kind of did it. And Phoenix really, you know, went out on a limb and didn't necessarily do it the right way, like what Cuerno is doing now. Basically, Cuerno waited and did it the right way. Phoenix took a huge chance, and it somehow paid off for him, because there was a period in time where we were all like, well, there goes Phoenix. It was nice knowing you, buddy. We'll never see you again. You'll be in high school gymnasiums for the rest of your career. And he pulled it off. But now that that road and that pathway is open, and now that guys like Fantasma can get out of their situations and get on that road, they just got to keep that road open. And it's not to suck AAA or CMLL dry. You know, I hope that a part of my issue with AAA a lot of the times is there's stagnation. Guys get stuck in the mid card or low mid card all the time. But if you have this road where people graduate and they kind of go on to the States and the Indies or maybe WWE or move on and move up, that they should be bringing these younger guys up. They, you know, Vikingo should be going to the top of that mid card. Some of these other guys should be making their way up.
How long is he going to stay on the undercard?
If you think about it.
But see, that's the thing when Conan is brought up as big of a, you know, when you say Conan's a big deal, when Conan did this, Conan did that, or he's like the most powerful non-WWE guy in the business. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, he's the one who brought all that amazing unknown talent. Like, you have like lower mid-card AAA guys come into Lucha Underground. Like, AAA wasn't, you know, investing money in them, but he was one of the guys who he could see that talent, and then they became huge stars. And then next thing you know, he's on the outs, and then when he comes back to AAA, you have another influx of unknown young talent that's just blowing you away in the opening match. And
we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah,
we were talking about this earlier on the Facebook group, which was basically, and it's not been because Phoenix and Pentagon are still technically the same wrestlers. Obviously, they've got better, but without Lucha Underground, would they have ever gone any further than being at the bottom of AAA's bill? Because I think, I'm not being funny, the Lucha Underground, the way Pentagon blew up as a character on Lucha Underground, he was the same character down in AAA, and he blew up and it became worldwide, and it became something you couldn't ignore.
I think you could argue
same with Phoenix.
I think you could argue that, I mean, Phoenix, I think, he's probably one of, if not the best worker in the business right now. And I think he gets better every day. But I think you could argue that Pentagon's matches on their own might have been better before he kind of blew up and became more of a character based in Brawler. No, Pentagon.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, what would have happened in a world where King Cuerno was the one who broke people's arms and not Pentagon?
Oh.
See, that would have made sense. Just remember that.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have.
My whole theory, if
I mean, but let's be honest, at that point in time, that was the luck of the draw. The luck of the draw was them saying, you know, was the Chris's and Skip liking this arm breaking thing and just kind of running with it because they cracked themselves up with it. That was the difference between Pentagon being the breakout star of that pack and anyone else being that guy. I really think that is the main difference. Now, don't get me wrong. There was guys like Casey where the coolness factor of Penta was there, but what the hell did we know about Penta before he was up there? Like, when I came to Lucha Underground, I knew exactly who Pentagon was. Didn't really care all that much. I had seen him feud with Australian Suicide. Yay. Great. It was low mid-card stuff. And it was just like, he didn't register to me as anything more than like, oh yeah, that guy's a solid luchador. I dig him. But like, I was there to see Drago.
He's like a Liz Mark Jr.
You're like, no.
Mark Jr.
Yeah.
He's there. Don't get me wrong, Liz Mark Jr. was literally one of my favorite wrestlers when I was a kid.
No, and this stuff is great at the same time, but it's not the high level stuff, and he certainly didn't have the clout that he has now. I mean, Pentagon, I always tell people are like, oh, what's Hollywood like, and this, that, and the other thing. The only advice I give to people is pay attention, because that's all I do in my job is I pay attention and then figure out what to do with it. And then the other thing is be prepared for luck, because you can have all the skill in the world and be nowhere, or you can go out there and do it yourself and get somewhere. Like it's being prepared for luck. It's being prepared for that moment. And clearly Pentagon was that, but don't discount the fact that, like, I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but of those guys, if Drago had been the one to break somebody's arm every week, he probably would have gotten the same pop. If Cuerno had been the guy to break somebody's arm every week, it probably would have gone to him. Because damn it, how cool is that to be just so vicious that you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to snap your shit.
Cuerno
could have had a wall of arms. He could have a wall of arms.
In the first season, Cuerno had that anti-hero appeal. Like he was, Pentagon won people over because they were putting him up against Sexy Star and like big faces. But Cuerno was like, he was that badass dude.
And he was getting over too.
Yeah.
He was totally getting over.
So, I mean,
he could have ended up in jobber status, and he absolutely did not.
He didn't have the arm break, but he had that. He was the first to have, I think, that kind of aura.
I just feel like he had a little more onus on himself to get himself over compared to, and I don't think that Pentagon wouldn't have done that. But I mean, even Phoenix that first season, I feel like they tried to make Phoenix be the one that they gave the push to. And it just, the way it worked out, everyone just gravitated towards Pentagon because of the arm break thing and how vicious it was.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wasn't doing any big promos or anything. There wasn't huge storylines at first. He would just come out, break somebody's arm, and then bust this shit. And you were like, what the hell just happened?
And I will say, if you look at season 1, season 2, Phoenix, and then you look at it for season 4, the progression of that guy, as in, because like season 1, I don't think he could do Dark Phoenix.
No, God, no, not at all. No, he learned so much. I mean, he learned so much.
Yeah. And as we all know, I personally rank him in the top 5, easy for me.
Yeah, you can see. You can see. To me,
I think was great.
To me, there's a visible shift in Phoenix towards the end of season 2, and it's exactly what Phantasma was talking about, where I feel like he learned how to actually carry emotion into a match and not just do his spots.
Well, he did
he learned how to be an actor as well. And I think a lot of that had to do with being surrounded by a lot of the American performers who are more in tune with cutting promos and being characters and whatnot. I think that Lucha Underground locker room did something for him that was far above and beyond what it did for any other talent in the company. He learned something. And in season 4, he is hands down the best wrestler probably on the roster at season 4, not because he's doing the best spots, but because he learned how to inhabit his character on a level that no one else in season 4 was able to do. Maybe they didn't have that same kind of level of stuff written for them, or maybe the stuff that was written for him just didn't fit them as well, but he just went into that zombie Phoenix, Dark Phoenix character on a level that no one else did, and it was freaking phenomenal.
Because he did that in when that was going on the TV and everything. He did actually DTTI last year with Dream Tag Team Invitational, which is every Easter. So it was Easter last year since I've last seen him. And
Jay in the chat room, you'll never get any complaints from me about Mill.
Absolutely.
Mill is I've followed that guy's career for a long, long time. I like his worst matches, so you'll never get a complaint from me about Mill. He was another one of the reasons why I was at Lucha Underground, but to me, because I had seen him so long ago in WCW and other places, like I didn't consider him a luchador the same way as the other guys. And a lot of the conversation tonight, we're talking really purely about the luchador guys, but Mill, phenomenal. Okay. We got to talk about the Young Bucks thing. We're talking about Pentagon and Phoenix. Let's talk about them winning the tag titles or retaining the tag titles and then dropping them to the Young Bucks all on the same night. What the ever living fuck?
Well, that's one reaction. But if you were in the audience of that show, I think another reaction would be like,
why do these white guys have the belt? That would have been.
You would have left after the Psycho Clown match, or you would have or that.
I mean, I don't know. The crowd didn't seem cold. I think the crowd got it. I think the crowd was interested, and I think the setup with Cody and Conan, I thought that they were great on the mic, even though it was really hilarious to hear Hugo translate English to English at one point in time. He was getting so lost because Conan was half translating himself already. So Conan said something, and then he said it again in English, and then Hugo translated it to Cody, which was hilarious because it was already in English. And I don't even know if a lot of people caught that. But I thought that they did a good enough job of setting it up. I felt like the live audience was there for the moment, and they were invested in the moment. And it was kind of especially for Rey de Reyes, which is almost Royal Rumble level pay-per-view, where it's leading towards the bigger thing. So you don't have to have that finish that makes everyone happy. You kind of want to leave it with a question mark. But sure. I didn't think the crowd was unhappy with it. They weren't throwing shit in the ring. They weren't like super pissed.
Yeah. No, I don't think they cared. I don't think they knew. I mean, I've seen the Bucks at PWG. I've seen them. You see them at Ring of Honor. You see them everywhere else. And they're a big deal, and this was a big deal, but I don't think they were as over or as known. I think you could go to some of the people who are much more of a AAA historian, and the AAA crowd, like the AAA audience is only about AAA, you know?
Well, it's a lot more of a casual audience in general. I mean, a lot of wrestling shows in Mexico are sold based on the card for the night. The storytelling, and it's one of the reasons why Rudos and Technicos have always in the past been so clearly defined, because a lot of people just show up on the night and just want an evening of entertainment, and they're not necessarily following all the ins and outs of wrestling business. So, being a Lucha Libre fan does not mean being an overall wrestling fan. So, yeah, I'm sure more than half of that audience probably had no clue who the Young Bucks were. Yeah. But I think the story was sold to them like, hey, look, there's this other American promotion. These guys are coming in. They did a good job of setting up that Cody, as a part of that, was a babyface. And so it made people not react too adversely to the Young Bucks, because I think they just associated them with whatever that angle was. So I think they did a good job of keeping the heat off of those guys too much.
By the way, just to interject, Fantasma says thank you, and he enjoyed every minute of it.
He was amazing. Definitely one of our best guests ever. Anyway, so obviously I think that the Bucks are probably not going to hold these titles for any considerable length of time. I mean, who knows? Maybe they could carry it all the way to Triple Mania and keep doing a back and forth thing for a little while. It would certainly help AEW, I think. But it's funny to me because
if you know what I mean, on their first show, they're going to have a belt defended that's got prestige behind it.
It is a big deal for them because, they are starting out. And, I mean, you see with Impact, and they're trying to establish their legitimacy over and over and over again with creative restarts. But they also, like in the past year or so, have had like 4 or 5, I'm exaggerating, but they've had so many different versions of their championship belts, and they've had different versions. They've had multiple versions of the world title. Their top title exists at the same time, and that has an effect.
Yeah, it does. It dilutes things after a while.
Destabilizing the situation that they always find themselves in. So it's like the Austin Aries situation is the situation that they always find themselves in. They always end up putting a belt on somebody or getting a big angle with somebody. You remember the China one? Not to muddy a name, but you remember that there was a big thing when she came in, and then obviously scandals happened or whatever, and she was gone within, one episode. And that's the kind of thing that they've always done. They've always kind of, I want to say, overreached and then tripped and fallen into a valley. I don't want to bury them because they still got really good guys. They probably got, like we said last week, they got one of the best rosters they've ever had. But they always seem to run out of the momentum, like the little legs just.
Well, so what do you do now? Further. I mean, you've got the thing with
me after 10 meters.
What?
So it's like me after 10 meters.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, I don't, and that's
really
the thing, though.
fast.
I don't feel like it's out of gas. I do feel like Impact is puttering along a little bit. But then when I watch it, I don't dislike anything that I'm seeing at all. I think what everyone is just waiting for a moment. And what is the thing right now that Impact can do to get a moment? The Cross and Johnny thing was a little moment. It wasn't bad. I dug it. I didn't have any issue with it. I liked where it's going. But at the same time, it's like, how do you get a bigger moment out of that? Is there going to be a moment where Cross double swerves him back and it becomes a thing? Do you interject somebody else into that?
We all love Kevin. I think that angle was exactly the same as the Aries angle. It's the same. Wrestling's always going to be the same angle.
Well, but they never got to finish the Aries angle, in my opinion. So maybe they're doing it now so they can get to whatever the storyline was that they were trying to finish with Aries.
Well, I thought Austin Aries was supposed to come back after a minute, to cash in on the payday of so they built up this drama, so now they have to have a payday off of it. Or else, why are they
right? Well, you have to have some people that want to work with you for that to be the case, Byron.
Yeah, but I thought it was a lot more of a worked shoot than we all thought. I thought Johnny and Austin went into business with themselves, and then Impact was pissed. Well, from what I read, they were pissed, and then they're like, "Well, it's working, so we'll write it." I don't know if that's the story, but
pretty, yeah.
Look, just because something is a work doesn't mean that there's not some shoot feelings behind it at the end of the day after everything is said and done. I mean, people may not be as heated in real life as the storylines. They may not really want to kill each other with baseball bats and lead pipes and shit, but that doesn't mean that they want to volunteer to work with each other either.
Yeah. I'm not being funny, but creative freedom to sometimes say the things you want to say. Not that you'd ever kill them, but when you really dislike someone, sometimes it's nice to just tell them how you feel and go, it's part of work.
Right. Well, and sometimes those things start off as a joke or a rib or whatever, and then people take them personally, and I don't know exactly where all of that scenario stands, but I'm not surprised to not see him back right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up at any time. I just don't know that that's high on the radar. And honestly, would that be what you would want to see, Byron? Do you think if Austin Aries came back into the title picture all of a sudden that would work for you? I mean, he wasn't a bad character. It was working.
I think that would be, at this point, I think that'd be cool because he's fresh. He's fresh. And also, that he could go and also at the end of the day, Johnny Impact would look like a big deal across the ring from him,
True.
And I think that would be good. But also, I think Impact has been doing a good job with bringing up Cross and Moose, who are supposed to be part of the Aries situation. They brought them up and they created their whole new identity almost immediately. And also, Moose is becoming a big deal, which is great because he's, he was super green and super brand new, and then they turned him heel. Well, people are like, well, he's a, big, guy that I like, big famous guy I like. And it's hard to do that. It worked. Cross got over with everything that he was trying to do. But seeing what they're doing now, which is basically a retread, and then you see how it's it was a plan all along, is what they're all saying on their social medias, and they're posting all the pictures from AAA and how they're friends in real life. And to me, that just reinforces how it's just a retread and not a new idea, which is unfortunate because what I would like is you're building up Cross. Johnny Impact had a good run. How about Cross beats him? How about Moose beats him? And then
how how sneaky and duplicitous Cross is. That just might be a double swerve. He might just be luring those guys in with some old photos.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I'm gonna no comment on old photos. But I think especially in wrestling, especially in episodic television, simple storytelling it works best. And then you can get complicated or make it really interesting every so often. But if you're consistently simple and effective and follow through,
and maybe that's part of the issue too. Is maybe we're so over-programmed to see these 1 month feuds, and for the acceleration to happen and to have some big stupid go home moment. maybe we're just over-programmed, that the slow burn isn't the most effective thing. Because like I said, what I'm waiting for out of Impact is a moment. I'm waiting, and they've had some. They had quite a few last year. Those moments where, like, when Penta won the belt, where you're just like, "Shit, that's a moment.
That was awesome.
That's a thing," and that brought in eyeballs.
They used to keep guys away from each other.
What's that?
Do you remember the 90s when they used to keep guys away from each other, and they'd do like a long program of kind of having little scraps here or there, or maybe a tag match, and then
Wasn't the
it
same.
was so glorious when they each
WWE
other.
was doing 5 pay-per-views a year back then. WCW was doing 5 or 6. I mean, it was a different world. I mean, now you've got little indie promotions doing pay-per-views every 2 months. You've got NXT doing 4 or 5 a year. You've got, WWE doing 14 a year. I mean, it's and then you've got Impact doing 7 a year. It's like you're leading to these pay-per-views, and that just means the amount of storytelling in the wrestling world as a whole is highly accelerated, and you need those moments. But at the same time, like, remember when they put the belt on Pentagon? I wasn't exactly happy about it at first because it felt like hot-shotting. But then when you look back at it, it's like, no, that's actually just a great moment. It was hot-shotting, but it was the right hot-shotting.
Yeah.
And maybe when you're with a company like Impact, maybe you just have to do that. Maybe every now and then you have to hotshot something. But who is the hot character that you would hotshot in Impact? And the only one, honestly, I can see, or the only ones are really Moose and Cross. Who else are you going to hotshot? Everybody else has had a little bit of a shot already. I mean, I like Eli Drake. I would love to see him in that mix, just as a character. And again, I've said this before. I don't know anything about the guy backstage, but I like him on TV. I would love to see him in that mix, but I don't think that he's really hot-shotting or doing something out of the blue either.
No, I agree with you about Eli Drake. I mean, we saw him live that one time and have been fans ever since. He's a kind of a guy where, like, you want him as your champ because he could come in, he can do like the WWE thing where your champ comes in, talks for 20 minutes, gets everyone invested in the show, and then puts on a great match later. And I mean, he can win. He could do the indie thing if he's your champ, where you have a whole new audience who doesn't know anyone, and he comes in and he wins everyone over and gets them hot for the show. It's just he's the total package. All respect to Lex Luger, he's the total package when it comes to a wrestler. And
all respect to Lex Luger.
Hey, you got to.
Christ, I never thought of it.
You can't offend Lex.
Yeah, Lexi.
You may have
but no, I mean, you're talking about who do you hotshot to, and like I can't for the life of me come up with an idea of who is and who has been contending for the belt. I mean, okay, Cross and Moose have been fighting Morrison, but apparently that's all been fake. So who is more Johnny Impact? Who's Impact been, earning his championship status again?
I mean, I guess that's. Go ahead, Kimmy.
That's the kind of thing though. There's no beneath. If you know what I mean, there's the main. I know it goes like episode to episode, and they film it all at once, and it's like you said, concise storytelling now. But there isn't anything going on below. They're trapped in. There are little storylines like the kind of the evil world or whatever with Su Yung and all that jazz, and then everybody else is just kind of existing and wrestling, which. There's no little
good wrestling,
storylines
stuff like Rascals. The Rascals stuff is fun. There's fun stuff going on down there. You got stuff with Eddie Edwards going on that's fun. You got stuff with Eli going on that's fun. I mean, there's fun stuff happening down there, but no, it's not anything that is so hot that it's something that's a gimmick that's going to propel somebody into the title picture unless they just hot shot them in there.
I'm not
going to say it's like a great thing. The Goldberg thing was terrible in the long run. But like, there's nothing happening like that, like a little stir of someone picking up a load, like quite a few wins or something. If you know what I mean, not someone everybody's going, you know what, that guy actually, he's doing really well. If you know what I mean, there's none of that kind of little thing going on with like a certain guy's performing really, really, really well, and you go, and it's come out of nowhere. If you know what I mean, like the Goldberg thing was okay, it was conceded and like terrible, but at first it was like, oh shit, where's this guy come from? Oh shit! And then like he became a part of the show to watch, even though he was getting booked in the first kind of 3 matches. And it was like, oh, so you watched that part? Like again, we said with the luchador thing was WCW. You always knew halfway through you'd get the lucha matches. That's what I mean. They went in terms of like, there's no one kind of getting a little thing put together that will lead to momentum, to lead to it. It all just seems very kind of, this week we're going to have so-and-so as a champion. Then, you know what, next month I think he can do it. But there's nothing behind him. So if he does win or anything like that, it's kind of empty and hollow.
Right.
It just feels like, okay. They put the strap on someone else. Well, okay. So everything becomes meaningless.
Let me ask you this.
Everything's crap.
Let me ask you this. So, like, what was Fantasma doing last time he was doing Impact appearances? Where on the card was he?
Well, he did a lot of multi-man matches, and they weren't great. They weren't long, and a lot of the time he'd come in, do the dive, do a few spots, and he would then stand on the edge of the ring.
Yeah, they just really weren't giving them a lot of time for the matches to breathe or be the pace that they probably should have been. But a couple of them were really good too.
When he got his singles matches, though, amazing. The singles matches, and another question then. From Impact fans want him back for that because they remember the singles. It's a bit like what I said. We would talk about it midweek. Was Aerostar and Drago. Aerostar and Drago, when they go up there, they're always going to give you an amazing tag match. They're always going to do that. And they're great singles competitors as well, but they got used in tag matches. They're great at tag matches. But as soon as the Lucha Brothers came in, Aerostar and Drago were out the door. They didn't care. And that's the kind of, like with Fantasma and Tejano and Pagano, they just didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
They got them there, great talent. And this kind of thing that they had nothing, they had no program from. They tried putting them into that program where it was Mexico versus America. It had that terrible match down in Mexico with I want to say
and that's the thing that's sad too, because a guy like Fantasma, and you heard him on the show, it's not like he's got bad English or something. He could cut a promo better than Pentagon any day of the week. Like, put him in a program. Give Fantasma Eddie Edwards. Give him Eli Drake. Like, why isn't he not in that, that kind of intercontinental level holding pattern where it's exciting and it means something and it's at the top third of the card instead of the lower third of the card? Like, he's a guy that absolutely at very least should be at that level, as all those guys should. But I feel like the part of the problem with Impact is they don't have that scene right now. They don't have that next level, that holding ground where there's great feuds going on and some of the best wrestling in the company should be going on at that level, while whoever the top guys are telling the big story. These guys are the guys doing the workhorse stuff and making the show exciting and, at the top of the second hour match. And I feel like that is part of what's missing, but they have the guys. They have the guys there to do it. Absolutely.
You made my point earlier in a more eloquent way. Well done. That's what I meant earlier.
Here's what I was going to say real quick about Kevin Cross before we leave him. I'm excited about the Bob Holly match that he's doing in Maverick, because that's going to be something where in one night, those guys are probably both going to come out and cut hot promos. Kevin's already cutting some video ones that are tremendous, just old school. I'm going to bust your face. We're going to go in there and lay hands on each other kind of promos. And then when they get in there, I think that night they'll probably, Kevin at least Killer will probably come in and juice the room up with some kind of angle early in the night. And then he'll face off with Bob Holly, and they'll get to let the match breathe. They won't rush through it. There will be slow spots in that match, and I don't think anybody will care at all, because I think the storytelling that they're going to do is going to be tremendous, and Bob's going to be walking around outside the ring intimidating the hell out of every person sitting there, and when he's not doing it, Killer's going to jump out there and do it. I mean, these are two guys where their presence is going to tell a story, and they're going to get in there and they're going to go stiff and they're going to go hard. And it doesn't have to be the highest work rate ever for every fan in that room to be entertained. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, there's no reason you can't do that on a TV show somewhere every week. Where is that match? I mean, think about what Hardcore Holly did for the Hardcore title. He made it not just, hey, we're going to go out there and do garbage matches. He made it these intimidation factor matches that meant something for a complete literal garbage title. I mean, it was made out of garbage. It was like duct taped together. It was the stupidest thing ever. And for a brief period of time, he actually made it mean something. I think that you don't just need guys like him. I think that you can teach guys to be like him. And some guys and obviously I think Cross can be a guy like that. I think that Moose could probably get the rub from him and learn to be a guy like that. And they've got guys in that. Eddie Edwards can be a guy like that. I think they've got those guys there in Impact. But yet, for some reason, I'm more excited to see, Cross do that in a room with 200 people than I am to see it on, a national television show next week.
Well, you get to experience that energy, and it's definitely going to be something that lends itself to that live energy. And you never know. Maybe, maybe
there can be good one-night storytelling though in televised wrestling. I don't believe that people capitalize on it enough. Not every writer can be Chris DeJoseph and string together some huge storyline that makes you care from week to week. And I don't think every wrestling character needs that. You need that good middle of the card. And honestly, I think WWE's been getting it right with having some of these things like what they were doing with the US title for a while, where guys were doing the open challenges and Ron Killings having the belt for a minute and dropping it, and those open challenges, they were great. All of that stuff worked out great, and they were night of storylines. They told the story the same night. There was a little tiny bit of history from the week before of like, hey, we did something like this last week, and then the guy comes out, one person will cut a promo, and then it leads into some awesome four-way match with a bunch of great guys who go out there and tell a story in the ring. It breaks off into separate feuds. Guys get all the heat in the world, and things are working. And that's one of the best things going in WWE right now. And I'm just looking at the Impact roster, and I'm like, oh my God, all the guys are there. All the pieces are there. Please, God, do it. Just do it. Make it happen. It's there.
You've reminded me because of that match with the Hardcore Holly you're bringing up. I've not watched it, but my friends went to Germany and have watched it from WXW. They put on the 16 carat Phoenix versus Walter.
Oh,
you listen to both of us. We're like, oh. I mean, I want to see that. I got to see that. Oh, the last thing I'm going to say about the Cross Holly thing is, can you just picture this with me? Can you imagine Bob Holly gets Kevin Cross up on his shoulder and gives him that wheelbarrow slam?
Oh,
can you imagine in your mind? Like, I can't fathom that in my mind.
I'm looking forward to those moments where he just goes looks him right in the eye and then chops him as stiff as he can.
Oh, that's gonna be ugly.
Makes his chest bleed. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, where I think that being there live is going to have a little extra to it than watching on TV, because like, one, you're going to hear the pain of everything that's happening, and two, like, you might have blood on your clothes from just being in the audience.
Yeah.
I think you might get blood on your clothes being at home with that much.
Oh God, I hope those guys don't start bleeding. That might be more than my constitution can handle.
That's going to be a fun match. Cross is the kind of guy, like, he's relatively new, but he studies the history and has a massive respect for the history of old school wrestling. And I mean, there's almost no better representation of that than Hardcore Holly. He's going to be just ready.
Yeah, I agree with Zero in the chat room too, that it is one of the reasons why Lucha Underground will be missed, is because a lot of these really talented guys are not going to have access to that level of writing in other places, and even when those guys like DJ, he'll go down to AAA and he writes stuff for AAA too, but he's not there all the time, so there's no continuity of his storylines or his ideas. He doesn't have a chance to really think things through. He comes in to already existing gimmicks and storylines, and helps him out for a night and just does some stuff in the back and does some things, but it's not the same. But
he's a long-term booker, isn't he? He likes to do a long-term project.
Yeah, I mean, well, who wouldn't? I mean, and that's kind of the whole thing. So,
but it'd be interesting if he went back to WWE. I think they would be smart to take him back.
If he would go, would he go?
Yeah. Who went back?
I think.
What's that? You were breaking up.
If who went back to WWE?
DJ.
That'd be.
I think it'd be good, especially with the Lucha guys being there. I mean,
by the way, stop it. DJ's looking good. Yeah, have you seen him?
Yeah, there's a couple of photos. His new profile picture as well. He's looking really good.
Dude, the haircut. My man is in shape. My man is doing good.
We're happy for him.
So what else you guys want to talk about?
All right. Well, I got to talk about a little bit of UFC stuff here. Well,
murdered anybody.
The last wrestling. Let me just finish up the last wrestling thing. We'll end with UFC. My last wrestling thing is, Jesus Christ, is Baron Corbin the new X-Pac Heat? Like, what happened to that crowd when they announced that Kurt Angle's final match was going to be against Baron Corbin? The crowd was hot as hell. You were talking Chicago here. Great wrestling city. Everyone's popping for everything up until that point. And then Kurt Angle is out there talking about how he's on his retirement tour and blah, 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 blah. Baron Corbin, silence. Like, he didn't even he got maybe 14 people to do his "it's true, it's damn true" thing at the end of that promo. What the hell happened? Why does the world hate Baron Corbin so much?
Well, that announcement killed the crowd for the rest of the whole show, let alone Kurt Angle. I think it has to do with it being such a letdown because you have a guy like Kurt Angle making his last run, and there's so much history. Like, you want a bit of nostalgia, and like, he's out there working a regular mid-card angle with Corbin that's going to pay off. And then that's going to be his last match ever. I mean, wrestlers are retiring, but it's like, in his promo was also like a little awkward. Like, it's written. It's weird for him. Where he's like, there's lots of wrestlers, lots of guys I'd like to wrestle. There's one that I want to beat. You should want to beat everyone you're in a ring with. He's like, one of the most competitive and like, guys in the ring. Like, he should want like to go up against Rock one more time and beat him. He should want to go up against Stone Cold one more time.
Maybe Chad Gable.
Why wouldn't he want to beat these guys who he made his name with at the very beginning of his career? Why not want to beat Vince McMahon one more, to say goodbye?
But you're saying it's a jump in logic because Baron should be the opponent, right? I mean, he's supposed to put over the new guy.
He's doing an angle with Corbin, and I get that, but I don't think that shouldn't be his retirement thing. And if he's going to have one of those matches, like,
but that's what you always do. You always go out with the feud with the new guy. That's the way the business has always been. I mean, you're supposed to put over the new guy, but they're not giving the new guy the rub here. They're giving the new guy X-Pac heat. It's backfiring. Yeah. It's making Corbin get less heat than before. It's grown heat. It's not, we hate Baron Corbin heat. It's Baron Corbin.
I mean, I think Corbin is doing an okay job with his position. I think he's on TV too much, but you look at like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels.
What else do you do with Baron Corbin? I mean, I like that they gave up the lone wolf gimmick. That wasn't working. He's not a bad wrestler. He's not a terrible actor or bad at promos. Why can't they get the guy over?
I think the problem is kid.
I think that's unrelated. Number one, that's unrelated to Kurt Angle's retirement. I don't think you.
No.
I think it's a disservice to retire Kurt Angle to put over Baron Corbin. I think you retire Kurt Angle to put over someone who's like on the crest or in your main event. Like, put over Finn Balor.
But Finn's a baby face.
No, but I'm saying like that level. Yeah.
I understand, but all those guys, all the other guys that are that level, are faces right now. Corbin is really the only choice.
Drew McIntyre.
Versus.
I know, like, Drew has something else maybe going on, but like that's
Drew doesn't need the rub. Drew is in the top of the card picture. He's a top guy right now.
Yeah, but when I just think that, you need to like, but he's that high in a card that makes him worthy of the retirement match.
Maybe
you
might be right. You might be right. Drew might have been the choice. Of guys I can't believe that they're wasting right now, it's Braun. I mean, I see him cutting comedy angles with Alexa backstage, and I like those. I like him and Alexa together. I think they're great doing comedy angles together. But like Braun versus the SNL guys with involvement from Alexa Bliss is like, this is the guy that carried WWE through basically their off season when all the big talent are nowhere to be found. And everybody was out, and Braun is carrying the whole company, post WrestleMania, after SummerSlam. He's like carrying the whole show. And somehow, not even a year later, we get here.
He was their Goldberg. They had the whole presentation dialed in.
The thing was, it was great. It was all working.
Yep. And then they jobbed him to Brock too many times. He lost his teeth.
And they did stupid things with him with Brock, though, didn't they? It wasn't even a case of like him
right.
losing.
So why not bring him back to put him over on Brock now? Like, I just don't. I think you would totally get all the heat right back if you put him in the WrestleMania match with Brock, even if it's a 3-way with Seth. I just don't see how you can't put that guy in the spot. He is the guy right now. He is the guy that could carry the company on his back for the next 4 years. It's not Brock. It's not Roman. It's not Seth. It's not Finn. They have Vince did his big man thing with Braun, and it freaking worked. It didn't work with Jinder Mahal. It didn't work with some of these other guys. It's not working bringing Dave Bautista back as another big man. It has never worked with Randy Orton, in my opinion, who is, by the way, as large in real life as Brock Lesnar. People don't realize that sometimes, but Orton is huge, giant human being. They finally get somebody. They finally get it right with Braun, and then they go into WrestleMania with nothing for the guy. We got to wait another whole fucking year, or maybe till SummerSlam. It's just stupid to me. Just stupid.
That's a Corbin level type disappointment where, it's like, I don't put the heat on Corbin for the disappointment in Angle's retirement match. I think it's just horrible booking. And I think it's horrible booking when you find out, oh, Braun is doing a WrestleMania angle with these guys. Like, I love them, but he's doing a WrestleMania angle with guys from SNL.
Yeah,
his program is with Weekend Update.
It's just a shame too, because they're doing so many other things right, but yet somehow Braun Strowman is getting the Bray Wyatt treatment, and it's just saddening. It's disappointing.
There has to be some backstage politics that we're not.
There has to be.
He has that stupid Superman tattoo. I think Roman has one too. They all have. I'm like, why do you get a huge copyright tattooed on you?
Because they all believe in hope, Byron. So anybody, we were talking about Mav Pro. The date of it is March 30th. And this one's going to be down in Culver City. I believe front row might be sold out or close to it. So, you can go to, it's no longer called Mav Pro, but their Twitter's handle is still Mav Pro Wrestling. And I believe on Facebook, they're just Maverick Wrestling now. So you can look at tickets, and this is the reboot, the big reboot, the Paul London booked, Kevin Cross headlined with Bob Holly event. So if you're interested in that and you're in the LA area, support local wrestling, man. And I know LA Lucha's got an event coming up soon too. I don't know if I have that. I'll look that one up, and I'll give you the info on that one too.
And if they'd like to book El Hijo del Fantasma, give us a bell.
Yeah, really. I think that these are promotions that should be looking at a top guy like that that's available to come in and put butts in the seat too, because I believe that there are a lot of Southern California fans that will buy tickets, especially for seeing where he's at now and seeing a top guy like that come into any indie promotion out here. So, all right, UFC. I got to talk a little bit of UFC because there is some fun stuff that happened.
I thought we talked about UFC half an hour ago.
No, TJ Dillashaw blew hot. Apparently, the test results came back. They were taken right before his fight with Henry Cejudo, and he blew hot. He popped. And apparently,
have a fun comment about that.
What's that?
Didn't Henry? Is it Cejudo?
Yeah, he had a couple of fun comments, and he's been lighting up Twitter in general and Instagram. But, Dillashaw came out with the information himself, and he said that not only did he test positive for a banned substance, they have not said what it was or what the extent of it was. And USADA only confirmed it after he said it. They have a new policy now where they don't put out the information until it's public from another source, whether it be the UFC or the commission or the fighter themselves. But TJ decided to get in front of it, which I think is smart. I think will actually benefit him in a lot of ways. He said that he not only popped hot, but that he was going to relinquish the bantamweight title because of it. So basically he couldn't go down to flyweight and win, lost there, didn't get the double belt, and now he had to give up the belt that he was still holding. So pretty much he's just the overall big loser. Now Conor McGregor's thumbing his nose at him like I told you the guy was a snake. Henry Cejudo's fucking with him. Everybody's messing with him. And now this may spell the end of the flyweight division, in my opinion, too, because it looks like Henry Cejudo has his sights set on grabbing Dillashaw's belt. I mean, he was probably going to fight him at 135, and I think that Cejudo is still going to go up there. So Benavidez is just out, and I think he's going to fight Marlon Moraes, and they are having a wunderbar back and forth on Twitter right now that's actually getting me excited for the fight. Marlon Moraes is, clearly got something to lose at this point, but it gets him in the title picture immediately, which is great for him. But Cejudo, is calling him a second-rate World Series of Fighting champ that doesn't know what a real fighter's about. And the second he beat TJ, it was basically his belt anyway. And Meef, are you reading these tweets right now? Is that why you're laughing?
No, I'm laughing because you're talking about UFC to me and Byron.
That is funny.
I would say yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Byron's been doing a lot better recently, though.
I just remember someone tweeted at that guy was like talking trash about why don't you stay in your weight class or something, or Cejudo basically said like I just went up a weight class and knocked out a roided up dude in like 43 seconds, so I'll do whatever I want. I thought that was pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is strong. They built a feud out of nowhere, and all because Dillashaw was a piece of crap. So I can't wait to see what happens with, what he actually did and how long he's suspended for. But I have a feeling TJ might get the book thrown at him this time. Though I like that he got out in front of it. I think that more fighters should do that. It's like, you do something stupid. We know a lot of you guys are cheating. It's fine. Whatever. You shouldn't be doing it. But if you're going to do it, like, own up to it and just say, hey, I did this. I did a dumb thing. I did a bad thing. And take your punishment.
Who doesn't want to watch that?
Rehabilitate yourself and come back. Go on with your life.
Let them get roided up to fuck and then rip each other apart. I mean, let's watch.
Yeah, that's a thing.
We're all good.
I remember.
Fuck it. If they want to do it, let them do it, and then let them just murder each other.
Well, yeah, or let them all do it. Like the TRT thing, I didn't have a problem with. Like, look, TRT Vitor was great, and it didn't. It made him better than he probably should have been, but it just put him at the same level as guys 10 years younger than him. Just swole his balls back up enough to fight like a man. I mean, instead of like an old man.
I appreciate being able to have like Shamrock's career. Like, if there wasn't any PEDs, we wouldn't be able to see, Ken Shamrock in the Lions Den. You know what I mean? Like, there's a place for it.
Lions.
But I remember J-Man when
fighting seals.
What is that? J-Man had mentioned just let them all take PEDs, and I'm thinking. PEDs should be in every form of entertainment. Like, they should be using PEDs in pornography. You know what I mean?
Well, and some people are. I mean, these things are not necessarily illegal. We're not talking about illegal steroids, all of them. Like TRT, for instance, is not necessarily illegal. You and I could go out and get a prescription for TRT tomorrow. And it could be very beneficial to your health and recovery. And honestly, with what these guys do to their bodies, there should be some type of medical rehabilitation that they're allowed to do. TRT actually helps them rebuild bone and muscle structure. And yeah, maybe that gives guys an advantage, but if they're all allowed to do it, then and it's medically safe. That was my issue with the whole TRT thing. I got that they were saying people shouldn't be allowed to get TRT exemptions. And I agree with that. They shouldn't have been allowed to. They should have all been allowed to use them or all not allowed to use them. There shouldn't have been I'm going to get a doctor's note and I'm going to be the one guy allowed to use them. But at the same time, no one was ever saying in that point in time that TRT was bad for you. It's like it was making Vitor Belfort a healthier human being. The state of his body and his condition was healthier on TRT than it is off of TRT. So you can't say that you're doing it to protect him. You're literally just saying that, no, it gives him an advantage over another fighter. The whole point of the steroid bans was that steroids were doing awful things to human beings. You were mutating human beings with drugs and chemicals and doing bad things to them that were going to cause adverse health effects. And in addition to that, giving them an unfair advantage over other people who were not willing to harm themselves to get ahead. So what I'm saying is, if there are substances out there that are not deemed to be harmful and are not illegal or narcotics, and everybody has the ability to take them, if everybody can use CBD oils or TRTs or certain performance-enhancing things that are healing their bodies but aren't causing adverse effects, then fine, let them do it. These guys kill their bodies for everyone out there. Let them have medical access to rebuilding their vitamins, in their bodies and their supplements.
But have a cool-off period. Just say, you got to get clean 2 months before a fight or something.
Well, it just depends.
Just a big fight. These things to release often.
Like with steroids, even though they are unhealthy, and I think in general, there's side effects, but also like you need to cycle them off and on, and they were being abused and like
correct. But this is why look, steroids should still be banned. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the USADA list of performance enhancing drugs, it doesn't make sense. Like
asthma medicine,
the concept of enhancing your performance is not inherently evil. What I'm saying is drugs are bad, okay? But medicine is medicine. And I think that they need to really go down and look at this list and determine what is actually medicine and helping people and these guys perform and live longer and healthier, stronger lives and be able to perform as athletes. What falls on that list and what falls on the list of things that are really bad substances that shouldn't be used by anyone because they're going to be abused, not used correctly. I think that there is another standard for athletes that we should be looking at. And TJ Dillashaw is still a piece of shit. All right, I'll stop ranting about it. Couple other quick UFC things. ESPN Plus is now the permanent home. I can't say permanent, but the home until whatever. They just extended their ESPN Plus contract. UFC's primary financial benefactor is now ESPN, and they are now partnered up with all of the pay-per-views. This means that pay-per-view will not be on your regular cable provider for ESP or for UFC anymore. I don't know exactly how this is going to work because ESPN Plus is an over-the-top format. I believe you're still going to have to pay the $60. It's not included in your subscription. That will just be the delivery mechanism somehow for these $60 pay-per-views. This is a catastrophic blow to cable and satellite providers. One of the few reasons people still maintain those things is so they can do pay-per-views and things like that. It's huge. It's a big deal. And it could also be a catastrophic blow to ESPN and UFC. This might not work. This is super, super risky. And it's not like what WWE did. If you went to a subscription format where you got the whole pay-per-view as part of your subscription rate, I think it'd be a different story. But UFC and ESPN are creating a few problems here. UFC Fight Pass is now $5 more than ESPN Plus and contains no new UFC actual fights. Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series will be on there still, I guess. Invicta, EBI, a few other promotions, a few other great promotions are still on Fight Pass, but not the actual UFC, just old matches.
So here we have television rights for things. So the Premier League is, even though over there, you get the television rights for that, and people have it. So we've had companies over here who have done that and bought the rights to certain packages for them. We had one. Do you remember Digital? Did you have Digital TV over there?
No.
Okay, so it's like Sky, but so ITV, who are like one of the main free channels that you have here. They basically set up a digital channel. Nearly put the entire company under, caused the whole of the football league to nearly collapse because they did this big $1 billion deal and they basically no one wanted it.
Yeah, and
no one.
But here's the thing: ESPN did wait until they saw the numbers. And clearly they like what they're seeing. UFC is doing great for them. It's been their primary thing along with some soccer on ESPN Plus. And it works. It's working, which they wouldn't go and pay UFC all this money. And for UFC, you know, don't forget that company was just purchased for $4.2 billion not that long ago by WME IMG. And those guys are still trying to make their money back. So part of them making their money back and part of why the sale was so attractive in the first place was selling off these television rights. Well, they already sold the television rights to ESPN and they're looking around like, we need some more money. So now they're letting ESPN in on their whole pay-per-view thing and giving them this level of exclusivity and sharing the pay-per-views. This isn't like HBO or something. Like, I get it. Okay, HBO, you pay for HBO separately, but then when there's a premier HBO boxing event, you go to pay-per-view for it, and it's carried on all the pay-per-view outlets. It's just run by HBO. They're not doing that either. It's just on the platform that you're already paying for, and then you got to pay $60 on top of it. And I don't know how they're going to do standalone purchases, this, that, or the other thing. I just think that this might have been too far, too fast. And we'll see. And I hope it doesn't backfire for their sake. But now, look, ESPN and the UFC are now completely synonymous. And people are going to have to get used to that and figure it out. And ESPN's picking up a few other MMA promotions as well. So several nights a week on ESPN television now, you're going to be able to see MMA. And this is amazing coming from a company that wanted nothing to do with the sport 10 years ago. This is a big, big reversal. And I think having William Morris Endeavor, IMG come into this whole picture is a big part of it. I mean, they're big players in the business. They have a lot of clients with Disney, ESPN. Disney now owns most of Fox. That went official this week also, along with this announcement. It's going to be very, very interesting how this all shakes out. My last UFC thing, amazing. Jorge Masvidal knocks out Darren Till, spectacular fashion. And then after the fight is in the middle of a live interview with Laura Sankow. And Leon Edwards just talks a little bit of smack at him, like, "Oh, see you in July." He didn't even say much. And Jorge, dead in the middle of the interview, was like, "What? Say it to my face." Walks right over to him and gives him the 3-piece and a drink, starts throwing hands on him. Like, craziest thing I've ever seen. Live TV, backstage. This was different than the Conor thing. This is like real street shit. And people might not know who Jorge Masvidal is, but this is a dude who was fighting on the undercard of Kimbo street fights. This was the warm-up guy that would just put a dude on his face and curb him on the concrete before UFC.
Raised. Like, he was cool the whole time.
Yeah. Like, that was it. Like don't doubt for a second. Masvidal is the real deal. This ain't some Colby Covington, knockoff, mouth off stuff. This has always been who this dude is. And if you go back and listen to some of his interviews, when he calls somebody out like, "Oh, I'll see him in the street. I'm cool with that. That's fine." He's not kidding. He's not kidding. He's a violent man, y'all. And he's not a psychopath either. It's just he's from a different place. He don't play like that. His whole story afterwards was, they were like, "Well, why did you swing on him?" It was like, "I don't know. He had his hands raised, and that looked like an offensive posture to me. So I had to protect myself." Like, what? You walked up and cold cocked that dude.
When I talked to him, so I had to do something.
I mean, it was just like, and fortunately for him, in England, there is not a governing body at an MMA event other than the MMA promoter. The promoter has to get a license, and the UFC is the commission basically in England and a few other places. I believe it's that way in Brazil too. So the only people that can really suspend or fine him, and I believe that the UFC will probably fine him for it, but I don't think they're going to suspend him for it. There was no charges pressed or anything like that. This was really fortunate. They get all the publicity and press out of it. They don't have, the Nevada Commission or some other commission trying to get involved and holding these guys up, just waiting for a hearing for 3 months alone, and then adding suspensions on top of that and extra fines once the guys have already spent the money, or forcing the UFC to not release their paychecks. The guy got paid. Jorge Masvidal got 2 bonuses that night, so he got an extra $100,000 for fight of the night and performer of the night against Darren Till. They may dock him back some of that he may not get his Reebok money because there's a standard of conduct clause in their Reebok sponsorship clause. So he may not get his extra 15 to 20K or whatever it is from Reebok, but they're probably going to fight each other now out of it. So what does he care? He's going to get some money. And it was just one of those amazing moments. And I hate to be a proponent of that type of street violence. And Leon Edwards took 2 stitches. That could have been really ugly. He could have busted his orbital. He could have messed the guy up for real. He could have broken his own hand. Not necessarily wise, but maybe there's something wrong with me. I just have to say, in this particular instance, whether I condone it or not, I was super entertained by it. Maybe I'm a vile person. Maybe I'm going to hell, but I just thought it was the best thing ever. And Michael Bisping was on the desk that night himself, and you could tell he was trying not to promote it or whatever, but he was like, they're fine. It's great. Whatever. Let them fight.
I wonder what Tony Atlas thought.
What, who thought?
Tony Atlas. I wonder what he would have thought about it.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have different opinions on it, but I think at the end of the day, most people are just like, hey, let's book him for a fight, which causes other problems because now you've got Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman, and this is all at the same weight class. You've got Wonder Boy versus Pettis tomorrow. You've got Jorge probably fighting Leon Edwards now after that debacle, which means Ben Askren, who just beat up on Robbie Lawler, except didn't really beat up on Robbie Lawler, doesn't have anybody left. He had all this heat going with Colby, but Colby's got the title fight. He had all this heat going with Darren Till, but Darren Till got knocked the F out. I mean, I guess he could still fight Till, but I think Till should go up a weight class and rebuild himself altogether. So the only person left for Askren to fight is Tyron Woodley, and they're best friends, and they're not going to fight. So those are the 2 guys that in the current picture are just asked out, I guess. I don't even know what they do at this point in time. There's nothing there for them. So
tea and toast.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I mean, I'm sure Askren will pick up some kind of fight, but I don't know if he's going to get the top 10 guy that he probably deserves. Hopefully he gets an easy fight so that he stays viable as a heel in UFC for a few more fights, because that was a narrow one that he pulled off over Robbie Lawler. But I think Ben Askren, if he gets a couple good fights and wins them, he could easily be the new Conor McGregor. He could easily be the new top heel in the promotion. He's not Colby Covington. He's not full of crap. He's not dishonorable, but he is great at talking shit and meaning it. And he will find ways to pick on guys, make them look stupid, still not hate them. He's a little bit like the old Chael Sonnen. And Chael never really had his heyday because Chael couldn't win a lot of the big fights, but Ben Askren's undefeated still. So if Ben Askren can do what Conor was doing a few years back and string together a couple wins while still talking smack and then coming out of some controversial decisions like this one with Robbie Lawler and still saying, oh yeah, no, it was fine. I had that guy the whole time. It's amazing. It's brilliant. MMA needs heels, and especially ones that it's natural to, not the Colby Covington fake, trying to be WWE heels. They need the real ones like Ben Askren. They need more guys like Chael Sonnen that is gone, or the old Conor McGregor where he would just talk shit and back it up, which he probably at this point doesn't have the ability to do against the top 10 in any of the weight divisions he's been in. I don't think that Conor has it like that right now because he doesn't have the gumption. He's got newborn kids. He's with his family. He's a billionaire. What's that?
Isn't he in jail now?
No. He smashed a dude's phone. He'll have to pay some fines. It's not helping his cause. Even the Irish fans, are now saying, well, didn't the Irish PM say that Conor McGregor is not a representative of Ireland? Is not what Irish people are all about?
Is he not in Becky's corner anymore?
I don't think that's happening. It should. But I mean, he's just not. The luster is wearing off of him. He needs a fight. It'll probably end up being Nate Diaz at this point. Cowboy Cerrone's already got his fight now, and a few of these other guys. Holloway's got his fight. I think it's going to be Nate, which isn't the most exciting thing, but if he's lucky, he beats Nate, and Nate doesn't have some magical 3-piece and a drink left himself that just puts Conor flat out, because that would be bad business for everyone. But hopefully he'll beat him, and then maybe he can fight. He still wants the Khabib fight, which is just stupid. Conor fights Khabib again. He gets murdered by Khabib. Like, he needs to fight guys in the top 15, not the guys in the top 5. But It is what it is. All right, I'm out of things to say.
I have
really
one more
happy.
question.
Go ahead, go for it.
This is for me. If you can answer too, but mainly for me. I just was found that Sting had done an interview. Someone asked him, what would it take for you to have another match, which surprised me because I thought it was like Sting would need surgery and a bunch of stuff to wrestle again. It just wasn't worth it. Sting said that he would come back only for one match, which is the one he's been wanting for a long time. Again,
Undertaker, right?
Taker, yeah. Now, at this point, Meef, don't give away the answer yet. Meef, do you want to see present day Sting versus present day Undertaker?
I would rather burn my eyes out with a hot poker.
Meef, how long have you spent shading the Undertaker's crotch with a crayon?
Oh, that was easy because he has no dick. Vince McMahon's got it on his mantelpiece. His balls.
God, Casey's gonna murder you. Oh, it's so nice knowing you, me.
I mean, he's coming back though, isn't he? He's coming back for the Saudi Arabia show, so
yeah.
We get to watch him die again. I mean, can he survive that?
This is all I can say. This is all I can say to that right now. That's
do
all.
Do they let people out of homes in America? I thought when you put someone in a home, that was it. They didn't come back out.
Wow.
That's where he fucking belongs. In a fucking
What if Sting comes back as Steve Williams and changes his name to the new Dr. Death? And then takes on Undertaker, and it's like death versus death.
What if
the thing is, does Undertaker have children?
Sting has
because surely one
ones that he claims.
Someone would have held a pillow over his face by now to get his fucking inheritance, wouldn't they?
It'd be great? A 3-way retirement match where the two losers have to retire.
Angle.
Sting, it's Taker, and Baron Corbin for the pre-show kickoff match at WrestleMania.
And Baron Corbin loses, so he has to retire.
I like Corbin.
Did you see the TGI Fridays?
I feel like Mania is going to be like 7 hours long this year, isn't it? It's going to be like 10 matches on the pre-show.
17
Josh Pillow, by the way, shout out to Josh Pillow.
Because he's listening right now at 3 hours into the show or whatever.
He had a funny interjection about WrestleMania. He's like, it's going to be like this many hours long. It actually starts tomorrow.
You know that, don't you? Did you see the TGI Friday thing?
I retweeted it. That's probably how you saw it. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, steal the material that I stole.
Did you see what I sent you in the DM? I need to see your reaction to that.
Anyways, so here's basically
it's Walter.
Apple TGI Fridays said that they fired Baron Corbin for taking the vest home. TGI awesome. Fridays won't even put Corbin over, but he gets to retire Kurt Angle.
You know he's gonna win that match too, right?
Corbin?
Yeah. They're totally not gonna let Angle win that match.
Angle can't do anything besides stand hunched over.
Yeah, I know. Gable couldn't even make him look good.
Gable's like fast, and Angle didn't even. I don't know.
Well, his kickouts aren't really a kickout either. They're kind of like a hop up. He can't independently move anything. He has to do this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still think parts of his matches are actually decent because the guy has a good work rate, but I mean, his moveset is crippled. He's not a young guy and he can't perform a lot of stuff. But he hasn't modified his match style to fit where his body currently is either. Yeah. And that is why he is absolutely correct to retire. He's not too old to wrestle. He's too old to wrestle like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's also he can't German suplex. So you see guys.
But why do guys, when they get to this point in the career, think that they still have to do those spots? I mean, remember when it was Flair and he was still trying to do the up and over thing where he goes up and over the turnbuckle and then he gets the clothesline and falls down on the apron? And it got to the point in WWE during one of those final runs where it was just like, oh my God, please just take that move out. We get it, Ric Flair. It's one of your greatest spots. Can you just not do that one anymore?
No, he botched it.
What's that?
It got to that point in WCW. In
No, he was
1998
when he showed up and he was doing the evolution angles and stuff with Triple H. He was still hitting them, and they were getting the nostalgia pop, just like Undertaker going old school or whatever. But it got to the end, and like the last couple of them, he just blew them completely and just couldn't even do it. It was really sad. It was just like, oh my God, you're 60. No wonder you can't do it. Stop doing that shit.
About the WrestleMania, it's going to be the last match will be Triple H and Batista. It'll be the main event. And it's going to be the NWO versus Evolution.
No,
Triple
H Batista will end the first hour.
I think Batista's doing good work and blah blah blah. I'm tired of Triple H acting tough. I like his Papa of NXT sort of gimmick, but I like when he's in the ring saying like, "Oh, this is for real. I hate you. I'm gonna beat you up." To Batista, I'm like, I'm tired of watching.
I don't mind the angle too much, to be honest. I think they'll have a fun match. I'm kind of glad to see Dave back. I do find it a little weird that they brought Dave back in the heel role. I get it, because I think they just thought that there's no way Dave's going to come back and Triple H isn't going to get the heat. But, they've done Triple H as the heel before. They did it with him against Seth, and made Seth the Kingslayer. And it is difficult to put Triple H in that role now, though, because wrestling fans genuinely do like him for all that he does for the business behind the scenes right now. He does great work behind the scenes, so it is hard to make him the heel. I just, Batista's freaking the Guardian of the Galaxy.
People love him now for the same thing,
right? So,
as a person, but I think it's more. I think he's having fun playing the heel.
I hope so, and it's a little bit fun too. I mean, I liked his little office gimmick. I liked the end of it this past week with the "get out of my office" thing. I'm not gonna lie, I had fun with it. It wasn't like a great gimmick. It's not. I'm not buying WrestleMania to see it. That's for sure. But if you're gonna have a celebrity come in, at least you're having a celebrity come in who is a qualified wrestler, who's still in good shape, who can actually probably go pretty good. His knees, I hear, are in fabulous condition these days. So let him come out, do his thing with Triple H. H actually looks more yoked than he has in a while, too. It looks like he's probably been in the gym. They're probably both taking TRT. So let him get in there. And which is not, I don't believe TRT is against the WWE substance policy.
Isn't there something about testosterone replacement being a symptom of steroid abuse, and that's where it kind of gets stigmatized?
Yeah, because a lot of guys needed it after abusing steroids. They had to do the TRT.
Yeah.
But no, you can just do a TRT replacement, and there's other just testosterone boosting treatments out there that are not steroids.
Can we get a testosterone booster sponsoring the show?
Sure. I'll work on it.
I'm getting. I mean, Meef was asking me about it, and I'm like, Meef, you're, I understand.
We can at least get some gas station dick pills to sponsor us. I'm sure.
Let's go to South Dakota, get some trucker speed.
We'll get like sheer Insta-Test and mini thins to sponsor us or something. It'll be fun. We'll just get gas station high on the show all the time.
Oh my God!
Like truck drivers.
Did I tell you?
Kurt Angle.
By the way, I'm going to be releasing a trailer to my short film soon, and we're submitting to festivals everywhere because someone asked about that. But there's a scene where I had to scoop a bunch of pills off a desk and pretend to swallow them and chug it with whiskey, and which is apple juice for all but one of the takes. But basically,
sorry about the piss that one take. That was my fault. God. I apologize.
Whatever. Anyways, but I'm like, I cheated. It's a gimmick. You cheat swallowing the pills because I can't spit the pills out, or else by the third take it'd be horrible, And but amongst like the assorted pills that are over the counter normal stuff, someone went to 7-Eleven and got a bunch of those like big, colorful looking pills, which do all sorts of things to you. And one of the takes, one of those pills got in my mouth.
Oh.
So I had to do the thing, and it was in my mouth. I had to somehow drink a shot of whatever it was without swallowing the pill, and then hold the take. And then as soon as someone said cut, I spit it on the carpet. I almost
did it. The real question is, did it last more than 4 hours?
No, I spit it out. Sign. That was the first shot of the day, and I almost took a 7-Eleven boner pill at the beginning of a shoot day. That would have been an interesting day.
And on that note, I think that's a perfect place to end this one. So thanks as always to our co-hosts, Meefloaf from across the pond and from right here on this side of our pond, just ever so slightly in New York City.
Big up to Brooklyn.
Bedford-Stuyvesant?
Bed-Stuy
area. Are you in the next Spike Lee movie?
Yeah, I'm in all of them.
Right.
Watch him again.
That's at Byron Fever. That's at Meefloaf. I am at Justin Harvey 75. If you're looking for us to say mean or nice things to us, thank you so much to Hijo del Fantasma for stopping by tonight and telling us all about this parting way with AAA thing, which broke news right before we went on the air about it being a completely amicable split. I had no idea what we were getting out of him tonight. And that's really awesome. And he has promised to come back soon and talk to us about some other things that are going on with him and hopefully have a bunch of good news about some awesome bookings. So hopefully that will happen as well. Thanks to Meefloaf for getting him on the show. And we really appreciate that. Thank you to all of you guys for listening and watching. And until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.
Yes.